trying to just sit around and get about everything we going through. I ain't trying to live life and thank God like who the fuck is you? I ain't trying to feel years on earth. I done shed blood, shed tears on dirt. Fighting these fools trying to smear my work. On a set trip trying to clear my turf. Who are you? What am I? I'm confused. We must wanna die. We killing ourselves as another cry. Cops killing our brothers, they killing our brothers, and I know why. They got us killing ourselves, that ain't no lie. Look, let me break it down for you. First slave master, next employer. No 40 acre, no mule, no noise. Them type of eyes where the God destroys. Blood pressure makes diamonds, we shine and grind and we reach our goals. Searching for worth without selling soul. This the shit that we own. This the shit that we own. Look, this shit that we own. Look, this the shit that we own. Yeah, this to the side. This to the side. They take niggas' lives, kill niggas' pride. Situations get minimized. Criminal history emphasized. On the victim they penalized. Officers don't get penalized. Big business is an enterprise. Social media they hypnotize. That's what people don't realize. Jail and slavery the same thing. Gotta look at what it symbolized. Still going through the same pain. About time that we improvise. Should we Nat Turner or Dr. King? Should we rise up or live the dream? Should we stay quiet, don't make a scene? Go Malcolm X by any means. Pick a size, no in between. Nigga, pick a size, no in between.
Feel the water flow. This is for the fire in your soul. We pray for better days to live our lives and make a change. Feel the water flow. This is for the fire in your soul. In your soul, your soul, your soul.
Soul cleansing.
Everybody got problems. Everybody got problems. No matter which yours.
Soul cleansing. Soul
That's why we gotta call them. That's why we gotta call them. My spirit's so
soul cleansing. Soul.
Nearly lost my soul, nearly lost my faith. When I lost my brother, that's the day it went away. Mama cried. So the granny did too. So lost, so hurt, I ain't know what to do. So I yell and I cuss up at God. Like why in the fuck? How could you do that? Bring that pain in my family. It's something we did. Tell me you mad at me, cause I can't deal. And it's hard to live without my brother. And it's hard to forgive, but still I pray.
Feel the water flow. This is for the fire in your soul. We pray for better days to live our lives and make a change. Feel the water flow. This is for the fire in your soul. In your soul, your soul, your soul.
Soul right, been struggling my whole life, in the dark with no sunlight, tired of making up excuses, going crazy about to lose it, in the midst of all the bullshit, let the music be your pulpit.
Hey, you ever got high?
Living life, gotta thank the man above for giving me this gift. He laced me like a drug, man. I swear it gets me high, man. I swear it gets me high. Hey, you know I be high, you know I be high. On Miami wine house, I say no, no, no to that rehab. I won't go. See, fuck a intervention. This music my addiction. It's all that I need. Plus some weed and carry Hilton. So fill my prescription so I can get this spit in with that BB flow. Yeah, that boy was spilling. The truth is in the building. You better pay attention. Stay lucky like some horseshoe. God, my true religion. See, fuck our niggas feeling. And what they might say, they so sensitive like women. That's why we can't relate. While I'm out here getting cake, grinding on my paper chase. Tom Brady with the hustle. Yes, I'm still making plays. East side of the A, for them boys parlay. Can't do it like I can. I ain't talking Pepsi. Do you get it, man? Get it, man. I'm just hoping you can feel this constipated music. See, all I spit is real shit. Fans, I'm addicted to their love. Got me fiending for this game. This shit is like a drug, man. I swear it gets me high, man. I swear it gets me high. You know I be high. You know I be high. See, I'm out here living life. Gotta thank the man above for giving me this gift. He laced me like a drug, man. I swear it gets me high, man. I swear it gets me high. Hey, you know I be high. You know I be high. Come on, well, let's ride and get high, and get high, and get high, and get high, and hey, let's ride and get high, and get high, and get high, and get high, and hey, let's ride and get high, and get high, and get high, and get high, and hey, let's ride and get high, and get high, and get high, and I do it for the fans. I'm addicted to their love. Got me feeling this game. This shit is like a drug, man. I swear it gets me high. Man, I swear it gets me high. Hey, you know I be high. You know I be high. See, I'm out here living life. Gotta thank the man above for giving me this gift. He lays me like a drug, man. I swear it gets me high. Man, I swear it gets me high. Hey, you know I be high. You know I be high. You know I be high. This is all I know. Music pumping through my vein like an ounce of coke. I am so dope. Hair run flow. Marijuana thoughts gassed up full of smoke. Now watch these haters choke. These rappers wish it's sweet. Watch how I break them down and roll them. I ain't talking weed. Then light their ass up like some Christmas tree. See, I spit up burn a nigga like a 3rd degree. And no, I'm not currency, but nigga currently I strong on the rap game. Call me Hercules. My thoughts, my feelings, microphone killings. Plus I stay clean like a fresh pot of chitlins. I'm the shit hoe, hey, who stay grinding, never going broke. Eating off my hustle on my hungry hip pose. I get dough, bills bare, what they call me. Comfortable like the Hustables, I'm on my bill. I do it for a fans, I'm addicted to they love. Got me fiending for this game. This shit is like a drug, man. I swear it gets me high. Man, I swear it gets me high.
Test. Oh, take that down a little bit. Test. That's good.
Here's the microphone master, DMC.
You know I be high. You know I be high. You know I be high. Let's ride and get high. And get high, and get high, and get high. Hey, let's ride and get high. And get high, and get high, and get high. Hey, let's ride and get high. And get high, and get high, and get high.
Yo, here we are. What's happening, people? Another week. Classic Conversations, JT and Low. Conversation last week was pretty classic. I'm glad you gentlemen held it down for me. Looked like y'all had a pretty good time up here and everything, you know. Your boy, the classic one, was a little under the weather.
Bring your ass to work.
Wasn't no COVID thing or nothing like that, people. But yeah, I was a little under the weather, but the show went on. It was a good show last week. This week, man, woo. Yeah. Honestly, I want to apologize to everybody because I'm supposed to be the one that's actually putting the information out about what we're going to talk about the following week. And I didn't until today. So I promise you that's going to get better. It's going to get better. But this week we actually, something that's been going on that we're really not paying attention to because of all of the social injustices and everything that's going on around, you know, we need to talk about some of these mass shootings that's going on. Got some stats and everything, but first off, listen, y'all make sure that y'all go to urbanatlanta.com. I know that you can see it right now on my live, on his live, you can see it there, but we need you to go to urbanatlanta.com. Scroll down, find Classic Conversations with JT and Low, and we need you guys to subscribe.
And subscribe.
There it is. Please be a part of the show tonight, 404-500-1605. Give us a call. Let's talk about it. Give us a call and tell us something that you want us to talk about. That's another thing. I want to see what y'all want to talk about. But, yeah, these mass shootings, man.
And ask a cop.
Oh, yeah, my bad.
Yeah, they leave me out there.
Let me do that again. He likes to be on the sideline, so I was letting him stay there. So, yeah, it's Classic Conversations with JT and Low and Ask a Cop. You know, want some of you, and not to infect, you uncleans.
Unclean.
He has given definitions of what the uncleans are. So I know some of you out there going, I cannot believe this man called me an unclean. Call in and talk to him and see what, see why he considers you an unclean.
And I will tell you.
It's better if you call in and ask that question. I'm going to chime in on that one.
What's that show when they said that you gotta ask?
Right. Yep, you got to ask. They're probably talking about you. But yeah, man, these mass shootings has been happening, man. It's crazy. But this year, we're in May, and the mass shootings across America it's an average of 10 mass shootings each week in America. That's it. I'm sorry. Y'all might hear an echo because my phone is up. Hold on one second. Do that right there. So yeah, when you think about that, that's when you really think of 10 mass shootings a week.
And by definition, what's considered a mass shooting for the people, just in case?
And that's something that I found out just a little while ago, that now, I thought a mass shooting was 4 to 5 or more. So now they're actually, which I guess it could, by the definition of it, it could actually, and when I say 4 to 5 or more, that's 4 to 5 or more that has been injured or killed, combined. I don't think it has to be 5 people killed. But they're saying now that they're considering drive-bys as a mass shooting. And when you think about it, it does fall into the category. Usually when there's a drive-by, it's not one person sitting there. Mm-hmm. It's usually driving by like a party or a gathering or something like that, and they're firing into it. Now, I wonder is it 4 or 5 that has to be actually affected, as in hit by a bullet, or is it 4 or 5 more people in a gathering? I have to look that up. We're looking for an intern too, so y'all, if you're out there and want to do some intern work, holler at us. Let me see. I have to look that. 194 mass shootings so far this year in America. 109. So now, if we're talking about 194 and a mass shooting is considered 4 or 5, I guess we can say victims. Mm-hmm. And that's over 600 that's been shot that we know of. Because there's been some mass shootings that hadn't been reported. You know what I'm saying? So that's something.
It's crazy.
And it makes you wonder, since we just had the pandemic, well, we're still in the pandemic, or at least we're supposedly in the pandemic. Well, we are in some places and not in some other places. But
that's going to be another topic too, man. And I was going to say that today, but we'll hold that one.
Matter of fact, that's going to be the topic for next week, so I can post it tomorrow. But when you think about it, how...
Mask or no mask?
Oh, man.
What's your thought?
Right, yeah. That's going to be... Yeah. We might get into some of that tonight. I got a lot of questions about that. But with that, could it be, like I posted today, could it be the pressures from the pandemic that's sending people over the edge that was already right there? Could it be because of the social injustices? Some people are just mad at certain people and they're going out and shooting, recognizing that other people some people hadn't been sentenced yet for some of the mass shootings they did 2 years ago. Or could it just be, that people, the mental health thing? We talk about it in our community, but it seems like it's pretty relevant in other communities too. I guess they just don't deal with it the same way that we do. So, do you think that it could be from the pandemic, or could it be just criminals that's recognized, what? It's a pandemic right now. We got a better chance of getting away with this now than we did before.
I wonder if the mass shooting title has been altered, though. You know what I mean? Because typically what we have always thought of a mass shooting, it was Columbine, it was things of that nature. Those are things you always considered mass shootings, and they always catered to a specific demographic, right? Yeah. So I'm just wondering if, when I read that article, it made me think about, because we're saying, like we just said a minute ago before the show, 19 folks shot in Atlanta over the course of the weekend. So one of those considered a mass shooting, if multiple people.
At least two of them would be considered under that definition.
Mass shootings. Yeah. But wouldn't that kind of, and it could just be me, wouldn't that be kind of changing the?
So what you're saying is that things that were not mass shootings before, they're now saying that they're mass shootings because of the demographic that it actually happens in.
I don't even look at that.
And most of the victims that, basically, because the people the area that's happening, it's a black area. So they want to call it a mass shooting now instead of just a shooting like they used to call it before.
Or the standard drive-by, or
Well, I think and this is going to be a little bit from the right side, but I think it's President Biden kind of making a narrative for the gun control he wants, because it's never been considered that before. But when you go ahead and add 3 or more people shot or into it, that's just about half the shootings in Chicago. Or and you look at Atlanta, in the last 3 or 4 months, we probably had about 12 or 14 that fit in that category. And so we've had several with 3 people shot, 2 people shot, and in a crowd, the one in Buckhead this weekend. So I think when you look at that, it's making the number shocking.
right.
Whereas if you just kept it what it's been all along, crazy Caucasian that is off his meds or was picked on when he was a kid, goes into school, kills people, goes into a club, kills people,
Several salons.
goes to salons that massage and happy endings and shoots a couple people, then all of a sudden they're trying to put black people in that thing. And I don't think it's got anything to do with race. I think it's trying to further gun control in America by adding where when they put that definition on it, that the numbers increase exponentially. And over what? Adding us to it. So I don't think they're doing it because they want to lower the crime in black areas, because they've known about Chicago for how long now? What did Trump say? He said, oh, no, the shootings that he called out doing his campaign. He didn't do a damn thing with it while he was in office, but he called it out.
Mister, what do you got to lose?
Yeah,
What do you got to lose?
He called it out, but nobody ever did anything about it. Now, when it meets something, their criteria and something they want to push, which isn't lowering gun violence in the black community, it's controlling guns. So I think that's what it really is. I mean, I don't want to go anywhere over with that, because we look at it, if they were going to do that, why didn't they change the definition and take care of some issues in Chicago? But they didn't do it until they want to. This is going to, because when you look at the number of Dracos and AK-47s and other semi-autos that are used in the shootings in Atlanta, just looking at Atlanta. Now, if you can include that in, look at it as mass shootings, then it's going to be easier to say, well, let's ban semi-automatic weapons. That's what I think is behind it. That's just my take.
That's interesting.
Yeah. When you first sent it to me and I was reading up on it, I kind of went with the whole gun control thing also. But again, then I went back to just like when we was having a protest. Black Lives Matter would be out there at 6 or 7 o'clock. But then by 9:30 or 10, there was some other people that was coming within the crowd just doing craziness, hiding behind that. So that's why, like I said, I was thinking it could be either one, gun control or a pandemic crisis or a pandemic, I'm going to say cover up, but they're using that, trying to hide under that the same way they was doing with the riots. Because a lot of the violence that happened during the riots had nothing to do with the march, honestly. I would say at least 75 to 80% of it had nothing to do with the march. There was some people out there that was really mad, that was actually protesting for the right thing, and they probably did something a little crazy. But I think a lot of stuff that we saw on TV and stuff like that was just criminals being criminalistic. Yeah, just doing what they do. They had a good reason to do it. We were all locked up in the house. They had a good reason to get out the house and lose their mind.
So tap into that for a second, though. I mean, let's talk about the pandemic. So, as we see here today, do we believe that the pandemic, the people being shut in, could have attributed in any shape, form, or fashion to the increase in crime that's occurring on a daily basis? Oh, Saga done pulled up in the building. Is that possible? Just thinking. I mean,
Well, I look at it, I think it contributed more so to the kind of mindset, because remember when they were trying to Trump and everybody's planning up that it may be a race war. Both sides were. And the first thing everybody black did was what? Go buy a gun.
Start gearing up.
Okay. Every white guy already owned a gun, so what he did, go buy 3 more.
And more ammunition.
And more ammunition.
Find ammunition.
And that's why you can't find 9mm ammunition or guns now. Nobody can find a quality gun anyway. And the prices have gone up, what, 200-300%?
Yeah.
So I think what the issue is, and I know what we tried to do last week and got sidetracked and started talking about schools, but I think it's more so what I wanted to focus on was black-on-black violence, and yet again, nobody's looking at what's wrong in our community. They're kind of taking our community and putting it into a situation to further something they want to do, which is gun control, which I'm totally against. So they, instead of looking at it like Trump brought it up years ago, oh, what are we going to do about the blacks on black violence in Chicago? What's going on? Now, when you put it with mass shootings, nobody's focusing on the number of blacks that have been killed in Atlanta and other major cities, urban centers, where the large majority of our 15% reside. That's what I'm worried about, and I thought this show was to further our cause. But now they've hijacked our cause like they've done, like I think Black Lives Matter's cause was hijacked. If you take us and heap us in with mass murder, because as soon as you think of mass shootings, the first thing you think about is white boys going crazy.
With a long
and that's not racial,
black
but
coat on.
that's what you think about. You think about Columbine, you think about Sandy Hook, and every other.
The list goes on and on.
Yeah. But you know what I think it does? It takes away from the fact of the amount of death that's occurring and was occurring long before it became fashionable to wild out and kill 15 people in the school. I think that's what I'm worried about right now, because they've kind of not watered it down because their numbers are woo, but they didn't give a shit about those numbers that were there prior to them putting them together. Biden didn't talk about it. Camilla didn't talk about it. Trump didn't talk about it. Nobody talks about it, including Black Lives Matter. They don't talk about it. But where the issue is black-on-black crime in inner cities. Now, when you're not diluting it, but they're only doing it because it makes it look worse than it is. If you take, I would like to see the numbers. If we could see, we have somebody we can call over. If you want to look that up, But if you look at the number of mass shootings prior to them grouping them together, that number is, and then this is what I've argued on other shows.
Yeah.
It's not that big of a number.
No, it's not. It's very small.
You're talking about an occasional nut, Norman's Caucasian, trips out, kills 10, 15 people. Unless those people in your family, it really doesn't affect you. But the black-on-black crime was high before. It's higher now than it's ever been, particularly in Atlanta, and that's what you spoke on. That's what I think the issue is.
Right. Come over here, Saul. Come over here. Interesting.
What's up?
I'm just gonna take a wild guess and say that's Deuce. Just gonna take a wild guess.
You got everybody in the frame. All right.
What's going on, gentlemen?
Real quick before we keep going, man. Go ahead, Soccer. Go and introduce yourself, bro.
What up, though? It's your boy Soccer Boss. I just came through the kick with the family, man. I got some things happening, but I don't want to interrupt the conversation.
We'll get them things.
We'll get to that later.
Yeah, we get to it. Deuce, go and introduce yourself, bro.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? I'm Deuce's Cigar Collection, right here local in Atlanta. We get local distributed.
That's what's up.
Deuce, this is your first time down. Right there in that big light, that's where the camera's at.
Gotcha.
But of course, you can talk to us and talk there also. But basically what we're talking about, man, is all of the mass shootings that they're talking about right now. 194 mass shootings has already happened this year. That's an average of 10 per week across the country. And we're just basically giving opinions on what we feel the reasons are. Matter of fact, we'll let y'all go, then we'll let you know what we've said so far. Well, you've been looking at the show, so I know you already know what we said.
I actually read your post earlier, and you said, was it COVID or was it this? I think it all kind of plays into it, because even with domestic violence is going up because of the pandemic. So people are frustrated, and some of them not making an excuse for it, definitely not making an excuse for them, but I think it all plays into the numbers, how these kids are raised. There's no respect at home, so there's no respect in the streets either. You get what I'm saying? And I don't mean the streets like where we at in the streets, but as far as the mass shootings, like he said, most of those are Caucasians.
But see, that's the thing. Now, we was talking earlier, we feel that now it's called mass shootings, even though before it was just called shootings in our neighborhood.
Right.
But now they're calling them mass shootings. Like, what was one this weekend in front of a museum or something like that? Well, Uber driver got caught in the middle of it.
Yeah. The Trap Museums, one in Stone Mountain, one in Buckhead, and shootout shot some older people in Home Depot, stray bullets. But see, this isn't something that just happens this weekend.
Right.
That's why I'm pissed off now, because they want to group everything with mass shootings, and the first thing is that's what everybody's thinking now. Exactly what you thought. Exactly what you. When you think of mass shootings, what do you think about?
When I think of mass shootings, I don't really think about quote unquote our people.
Exactly. Right. But who do you think about with mass shootings?
First person come to my mind, honestly, no, and I'm not racist, but it's typically a Caucasian.
Exactly.
They're the ones that a lot of times when we get into it and we're shooting, most of the time we know who we shooting at and why we shooting at that person.
Exactly.
Right.
Now, true enough, you got a lot of these folks out there that just be shooting at a lot of people, but they know they have a target in that crowd that they trying to get, typically, when it's one of us, So, yeah, that's what I think about when I hear mass shooting, But at the end of the day, we all know guns don't kill people, people kill people.
Right.
Guns, they want to start changing gun laws. That ain't the problem. It's the people that's killing people. People that get the guns. I don't care what law they change and how they do it. Guns gonna always still be on the streets. You're gonna always be able to get them, no matter what. You've been getting them since the beginning of time. You can always get them. So it ain't the guns that's killing the people.
Right.
It's the people that's killing people.
And I think one of the laws that fed into that is when they stopped parents from disciplining their kids at home. They quick to call and the parents get locked up or whatever. That took away, that discipline is a factor in all that.
That's it. I think, now that right there, I think that's on the parent.
Right.
At the end of the day, my kid can't threaten me about calling no police.
I ain't saying ours. Oh, yeah. And I'm going to beat you
at when I come back, I'm going to beat your ass again. You going to get tired of getting your ass whooped before I run out of money and bailing out. I just tell them keep my bed warm because I'll be right back.
But I see that, and I agree. And I think everybody in this panel thinks along those lines in our age bracket. But when you look at the younger African Americans, I think what we've done is assimilated in some of the worst areas. Because, when you first came in policing, and JT, when you went in corrections, you used to be able to close your eyes and they could say the crime. And as a law enforcement entity or corrections, you know who it was. If they said somebody slept with a 3-year-old little boy. In the 90s, the first thing you thought was Caucasian.
Oh,
okay? When in the 90s, if you said caught him with 99 pills and date rape drug. In date rape drug, the first thing you thought about was Caucasian. Okay, if you said the Lotus, heroin, things of that nature, first thing you think, unless heroin, if you're in Northern City, is different. But what the first thing you thought was Caucasian. Now, I think they've assimilated with everything that's negative in America. Younger African Americans have assimilated, which added to the pressure of feeling disenfranchised in America. Okay, so we see the American dream. Everybody up here has achieved the American dream. We grew up knowing there was going to be hindrance from maybe the establishment or the system, as they like to call it now, the systematic racism, but we just played like, Eric Dickerson, stiff arm. That's how we grew up to do. We didn't let it set us back. We didn't even think about it when we were growing up. We didn't even look at it as a negative because we knew it was there and we knew that was something we was going to have to go up against. But the young brothers now, they've assimilated to the point Now, just like everybody that gets trophies, thank you, bro. Everybody that gets trophies and like participation trophies and things of that nature, I think all it ties in together. And then when you put rap music on the top of it, modern rap music on the top of it, and you put basketball players and football players, and they play into that, they're making money on it, and they're doing something that they don't even live anymore. But they're hyping it up like they still doing it. And these are the same kids that decided to say, I'm gonna, take a pill. And back in the day, if anybody was popping a pill, you look at them, what the hell are you doing, bro? Right. That's just my take on it.
You hit on something there, man, about the rap music and how a lot of our younger people will mimic what they hear because rappers are rapping about things that either they used to do or they probably never done, just knew somebody that did it. I don't listen to hard rock. I don't listen to all that type of stuff, but you never hear anything about their music pushing a white kid to do something crazy. And I know they got some crazy music, but you never hear about that.
Well, the heavy metal.
Well, I was just about to say, the heavy metal was.
You never hear.
They don't blame it on.
They don't blame it on the music.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Think about it for a second, though. Our race, African American race, is the only race that has crime on crime. When you say black on black crime, you don't hear Asian on Asian. You don't hear white on white. You don't hear Mexican on Mexican. Our race is the only one that has that, where they say black on black crime. They label us and been doing it for years.
Yeah.
Ours is the only ones that do it. That's part of the reason. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? What you're saying, you don't hear that.
Well, and with my background, I will speak on that a little bit because when Asians do it, they'll take over an area. Same thing with Latinos, they'll go in the area and they'll pressure their own kind to pay tax, protection tax, and things of those nature. So they do victimize their own kind, but it's for what? Financial gain. And now with us as African Americans, not our age group, because back in the day, the only way I could get you upset, like that young man on the corner, younger than me, so I call you young man, but you came in with a lady. Back in the day, I could bump into you and step on your shoes. Oh, my bad, bro, and you're going to dismiss it. The only way I'm going to get you to go out of pocket, if I can sit down, disrespect you by talking to her, correct? Now with the young men today, all you got to do is, man, the way he looked at you, bro.
Don't like their picture on Facebook.
Exactly. Don't like a picture on Facebook and things that we never would have did. And back in the day, think about it. Think about when you was growing up. Anybody that got killed had it coming, or you automatically said, okay, yeah, because you knew the kind of life he was living. Now, like you said, they're killing each other for Facebook. Or women, the young girls, they getting violent because, she called me out on Facebook.
Wait, I'm sorry, MJ. I was just telling him somebody said they couldn't hear him when he was talking, so I'm sure you get a little close to the mic.
Well, the sad part is our current, rap genre. They, back in the, you go back in the day, the rappers just talk bad about each other. You know what I'm saying?
But it was a lot of positive too.
Yeah, no. Well, what I'm talking about when there was that rap beef,
when it was a battle,
it was a battle,
rap battle.
You know what I mean?
On wax.
These jokers are literally shooting and killing each other. I mean, at a high rate.
Yeah. Because
of a song or because some stuff back in the hoods or something somebody said, and they put it in the rap. And these jokers are, they're not doing battle rap no more, man.
And you know what?
They killing each other, man.
You said, and now that's a mass shooting.
And that's
a mass shooting.
Depending on how many people they got.
That's a mass shooting.
Man, that they deal with this. They get these contracts, but because they talking that talk, and they ain't never really walked that walk, so then they want to go out here and join a gang after they done made their money. That ain't the time to be no gangster.
That's true on some. That's true on some, brother. But some of these jokers come in here in the gang.
But now
They coming from a gang life. Okay.
But now, when you look at those that came into the game, that was already in a gang or was out there hustling and selling dope, when you think about it, once their life changed, their lyrics changed.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah, Puffy.
Once their life changed, their lyrics changed.
Well,
They grew up. Yes, they grew up and they started
Same thing I said to you.
their career talking about the things that they used to do. All of them. But now that they don't do that no more, they don't talk about that no more. Change your lifestyle, you change your lyrics.
Let me say this real quick. MJ, Puffy lyrics never changed. He was always happy and go lucky and dancing.
My bad. The people he surrounded,
people he was around,
the people he surrounded himself with, and what he did off screen. You know what I'm talking about?
Just make sure people don't know that Classic Conversations with JT and Lo do not feel that Puffy was ever hard.
At
Not
all.
hard, but he was making money from, you know what I'm talking about.
He surrounded himself with a few people that was
Think about 50's lyrics done changed. Now, he'll go back, he might revert back and come out with a hardcore song because the industry is thirsty for it. They still want to hear that sometimes, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, his lyrics done changed, Jay-Z's changed, you know, and when Jay-Z had his daughter, he said he wasn't going to use the word B no more in his lyrics ever again. Change your life, the lyrics change.
You can
He's
curse.
also talented on another
You can
level.
curse
I
up
think
here.
the talent
You can say
of
bitch.
old school rap.
I don't want people out there going, nah, he used B. That's what he called Beyonce.
When I said I beat my kid's ass, everybody looked at me like, damn, dude. So I said, okay, well, maybe I ain't supposed to say that.
I was agreeing with you, bro. Hey.
Nah, you. Yeah,
And Megan Thee Stallion, I apologize. I love your music. I had to do that.
She can say whatever.
That's hilarious.
No, but and piggybacking on what you said, if you look at 21 Savage and some of the other ones that do come from that background, that's all they preach and all they go. But even though, or if you look at name somebody that's hard. Okay, everybody know Gucci was written in them streets, but now where does Gucci reside? In California, in a mansion. And not saying he ain't hard, because Gucci probably put more in the ground as a rapper than any other rappers combined have.
Agreed.
But it's the point that he cleaned it up. He's still flashy talking what he talks, but he moved up and out. I think if you look at the number of young rappers, I can't talk about some of the ones in Atlanta, but a lot of them are still being actively investigated for drugs and violence.
Because they want to still live that lifestyle.
They still
You
got a
can't
foot in
have
the
foot
street.
in the street.
Exactly.
And let me just give it to you like this. I done been out there in random streets. But you cannot have one foot out there and one foot over here. You can't straddle the fence. You got to be one way or the other. That's just point blank. Those are the ones that end up getting hemmed up, caught up. And the minute they get hemmed up and caught up, they singing like a fucking canary. Like you got a 20-piece opera up in that. You know what I'm saying? They telling everything. Like Nino said, if I go down, everybody
going down.
That's real talk. You know what I'm saying? But it's that lifestyle, they have not matured out of it.
That's the key. That's the key word.
I think that is as mature. I think it's as mature as they get, because what I think is happening in our culture, the African American culture, not the unclean culture, the African American culture. You laugh, it's like y'all think she knew what unclean means.
He's gonna have to give a definition. He'll give y'all a definition, sure.
But I think what's happening with their culture, they don't have a culture anymore. I think all of us, no matter, I don't care if you was in the streets, on the other side, or whatever you did, it all started in the church for you. And I think we all were forced to go to the church for a certain amount of time, and we had to
Certain amount of time,
go to
7
kindergarten.
days a week.
Exactly. Okay, yeah, but you know what I'm talking
Tuesday.
about. But you were forced to go. You didn't have a choice. You were going to Sunday school.
So what you did Saturday night,
exactly.
you your ass up.
And that's one thing. And that's one thing the word does. When you're doing something, like every time you ever did something wrong, every time we was on the streets and ever did something wrong, you always had a little birdie, which is that angel, guardian angel, Jesus, whatever you want to say, Hogan, whatever you want to call it. But you had a little thing saying, you don't have no damn business doing what you're doing. And then we would hold back and pull back. I think the kids today don't believe in anything. They don't love one another. See, the difference is, back in the day, I'd be red dogging, and we'd all go to Blue Flame, Magic City, Nicky's on Stewart, okay, Nicky's on, the one downtown, and different places, but we'd all party together because it was a common respect. It was a respect. There's no respect at all anymore. It's not that the line was blurred. I respect what you did. There was an honor among thieves, so to speak, people that did that. There were certain things you weren't going to do. That goes back to what I was saying. There's certain crimes that you close your eyes and you know a black man didn't commit it. But now there's nothing that they do that we don't do. Before there was just certain things you know a black man wasn't going to do. Now they're popping more pills than the white people. And they're doing stuff and they're singing about it. And that's something that wasn't allowed before. Back in the day, if you think that some of the leading preachers would allow one of them to get into the pool pit, and he's talking about drugs, guns, and screwing this B and screwing that B and doing this, they wouldn't be allowed to even speak in the pool pit. But now it's become acceptable with a certain segment of our culture, uncleans, to do that. But what's the difference between the old school stuff? No matter what we did, you knew to clean your shit up when you stepped to a certain people. You know what I'm saying? I knew to clean my shit up when you talk to a certain people. Another thing, and this is not knocking anybody that does it, but everybody may have had a stripper, but she was always on the side.
You know what changed that?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You know what changed that?
No idea.
Some of y'all don't know what I'm talking about, but I know what I'm talking about.
Well, man, my stripper was front and center. I was proud of my stripper. When she gave me $50, it was a lot. It was a lot. It was 51s,
But did you take that stripper to your mama's house?
Never got there. But I would have.
Did you wife?
She had to work.
Did you wife that stripper?
I probably.
And I'm not saying it's wrong. Don't get me wrong.
No, of course I didn't. But
as a people, we've lowered. The younger people have lowered the standards. It's all right, like you said, if you put a foot in the street. But when there's no line at all, you don't know to get back. You know, when you do something, I'm gonna do this for a minute.
That line got blurred, bro?
Where?
When the mama started becoming younger.
Right. When I said when Big Mama was in the club.
But you got
Big Mama 38 now.
Generations in the club, you got a problem.
And everybody under 60.
3 generations in the club, you got a problem.
And everybody under
Mamas
60.
got younger.
Big Mama 36, something like that. Real quick, let me go over these comments. Deanna Phillips, appreciate you tuning in. She agreed with us that most hard rappers weren't gang affiliated. Oh, she said they were. Okay. BJ, who is, he's been in the business, is in the business. He said, we all know there are a lot of studio gangsters who have surrounded themselves with some real killers because of who they may have signed with. And that may be based off the type of music that they make. There are some real killer rappers out here, but there are some that are soft as butter but have to keep up the image for the sake of record sales.
Fact. Yeah. He said a mouthful right there.
Yeah.
He said a mouthful.
I got one.
Right there.
I got one I want to read. Kevin Bookman, what's up, Kev? This is from the previous, the original topic. Do you guys think putting a ban on guns like ARs will lead to less mass shootings?
No.
I think you answered that question earlier. The guns going to be there regardless. Okay. Said they're diluting the, huh?
What was glass at?
Christy took the glass and bring it back last week.
Chris, what? I told y'all she was off last week, bro. I told you.
They're diluting the narrative that white people are the ones that are responsible for mass shootings. Clump it all together. That's correct.
I'll leave with that one then.
I thought it.
I'm gonna smoke this as well.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw when he first broke it open. I was like, that's real nice.
Okay.
But I thought it was just Gina and me. So I put glass in there. He watched them all.
Well, see, they don't like me enough to add me to the moniker, but I'm asking cop.
That's a black owned cognac.
Too funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was just them two.
It's all good.
All right,
He
BJ.
didn't fill me in. He just called me last minute.
BJ came with something else. He said our parents created the structure of discipline in us and gave us something to be afraid of. These youngsters today don't fear anything. They don't fear the police. They don't fear going to jail, dying. They don't even fear God. A lot of parents today are afraid to address their children because of fear of a violent backlash. That's something.
No, you know, and what you just said, I think is a big point towards that, and a lot of what he said is 100% correct. I think in terms of, you know, we were talking about earlier about the church and going, what have you, and they don't. But you said they don't even know God, because I think we've heard more of that in recent year of the. You know, and we've had this conversation on the show several times. You know, the doubt, the non-belief, and it's one thing to not believe in God. That's your prerogative. But like you said, a lot of these folks don't believe in nothing.
Right.
So you don't have no fear of absolutely nothing. You know what I mean? And I think that's dangerous.
Oh yeah, that's a
dangerous,
dangerous
man.
person.
When you don't fear nothing.
That's a
know,
very
and-
dangerous person.
But here's the thing, though. Check this out, though. Think about it. Do they really not fear nothing? Because when you think about it, like we just said, when they get behind the walls and that bright light in their face, they fear losing their freedom.
But see, that's the thing.
I don't think some of them do.
A lot of them don't.
I don't think some of them do, because it's still a badge of courage for some. I mean, it's still that courage.
Yeah,
it's still that
no
badge.
that no snitch rule. But I
Well, no,
I see
well,
what you're
just get
saying.
that prison. I've been locked up. That's still the street cred thing. It still gives them some sense of credibility.
Some of, like you said, some of them when they come out, they're really not scared now because they done time.
Right.
But to your point, the ones that will sing, they had nothing to fear, so they wasn't scared. Now some of them, when they do get locked up, then yeah, they have something to fear. So they may sing and come out. Now they're scared of certain things. They may not go back the same route, but like I said, they didn't fear anything. That's how they ended up in the place that they was in. But some of them, like you said, man, I worked in there and I saw them leaving, coming back. I only worked in the jail system for a year and about 2 years. And I know I saw at least 5 or 6 repeat offenders my time that I was there, leave and come back. That means they went right back on the street and done some of the same shit.
Hey, dog, I left something.
Done some of the same stuff and came right back. You think about that, man. It wasn't like I was in the prison system for 15 years where there was a gap. One time I was working in the youth camp. I think I said this last time, one time we talked about this. I was working the tower. You know, when the new inmates come in, we have to come out with the rifles on the tower. This man gets off the bus and yells up at me, "Yo, Mr. T, what's up?" I said, "This motherfucker's back. This is my homie." I said, "He just left."
Damn.
He had, I only worked in the youth camp for 6 months, so that goes to show you how quickly he left, came back. I wonder where he at now.
But that comes from all they getting slaps on the wrist.
I need to search for him on Facebook.
What do they fear if they ain't getting no serious time? Like I knew some dudes that got hemmed up, and off the rip, they got 17 to life, 11 years off the rip, things like that. When them dudes came home, they was a changed dude.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They didn't get slaps on the wrist. See, they when them youth or the young boys going to youth camp.
Yeah.
The judge just slapping them on the wrist.
They don't
Okay,
even
I'm
get
giving
that. They get
60 days
probation.
in a youth camp. I give you a year. That's little stuff.
If they get that, they did some shit
see
because
what I'm
it's
saying?
slap on the wrist.
Right.
Probation,
slap on the
probation,
wrist.
probation.
That's it. All this probation. They repeat. But they run across that judge that know how to break that cycle and tell him 10 years off rip for your first time. That change your mindset.
Let's see where
It can. Now
Let's
you can
see.
go in there and come out worse. Who knows? You know what I'm saying?
I was in there for a hot
that's
84
South
hours
Georgia,
of
man.
my
You
life
gotta get
changed.
outside the Metro Atlanta for that.
84, maybe 84 hours of my life just switched up. I came out really good.
But I think too the difference is back in the day, it was a job. It was a job. It wasn't who you are. It wasn't who you identified with. You know. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It was a way out of where the situation that you were in. Now I think black men, well, our culture in general has been assaulted by the uncleans. And the uncleans have taken it over where before, even if a dude was a drug dealer, you could still stand up inside of him in the club, bounce, do everything else, because that was just like, it was like that wallet. You know that cartoon they used to have with the coyote and the sheepdog, they clock out at the end of the day? Because it was just a job you did.
Boy, you just dated yourself, didn't you?
Ain't no shame, you know, ain't no shame.
He ain't have to say that.
He didn't say that,
They already knew how old he
And
was.
sad part about it, we know what he's talking about.
Exactly.
There you go.
But my point is simply this, is that we knew right from wrong, and you said the guys be okay, I'm gonna stay in this game long enough to accomplish this and accomplish this. And anybody that's from this city, if you're from this city, you know a certain individual that's got a strip club that also got a couple hundred houses and running shit. And then, but it was something, it was a means to get somewhere. It wasn't who they identify with, a culture and a lifestyle. And I think what's happened now, we've gotten so consumed, well, not us, but young black men have gotten so consumed with a lifestyle that's really not even them. Because the difference is, when you go to a club back in the day, we jump clean. Look how we dress now.
Oh yeah, we've had
Back
that.
in the day,
We've had
we
that show.
wouldn't do
We're
it.
gonna do it again too.
You know what I'm
Funny
saying?
you said that. It's so funny. We get ready to go to Houston next week, right?
Yes, sir.
I
Houston
made a
Cigar
comment-
Week.
I made a comment.
Hey man, you need to tell us about that
I
spot
made
too.
a comment to homegirl. I said, hey, hold on, I got to make sure I get my stuff right, because I said, you know who I'm rolling with. I said, JT gonna come out clean. I got to make sure I'm correct, boy. He started laughing.
Pretty Ricky, what they call him.
But one of the
He started laughing.
You don't even have to hit him
Detroit,
in the
they're
head,
still
bro.
I
dressed in
said,
Detroit.
look here,
And
I'm coming right.
and it's got to be something they ain't seen before.
That's
so,
right.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Putting it together as
But
we
you know what I'm
speak.
talking about. And a T-shirt had no place in a club.
Right.
You know, and I'm saying it doesn't seem like a big thing, but when you lower your standards to the point that girls graduate from high school and they will admit when they say, what you doing? Oh, I'm gonna dance. And they're not saying like back in the day, what did every stripper say? I'm dancing to pay my way through college.
They're dancing and live
Now,
Right.
in our community, it's become accepted. And I'm not knocking anybody that dances, they're doing what they gotta do to take care of their family, do it. But what I'm saying now is it's just like drug dealing and people that did step out of society's norms. It's not a job. It's not how I'm going to get ahead.
It's a
Like,
goal, almost.
It's a goal. And it's like a lifestyle because it's got accepted that you cool. It's good. There's nothing wrong with it. And then it got to the point where the churches did the same thing. They lowered their standards.
Yep.
You know that
Come as you are Sunday.
Exactly. Come as you are. And to me, when you break out in a suit, it was more so to show respect. You know what I'm saying? If you went to a young lady's house for the first time, you came clean. Would you think about showing up in a white T-shirt, some jeans, and some flip-flops to somebody's house?
Wife beater.
Yeah, white beater, to somebody's house. You didn't do it. And I'm not talking, and hey, it's no segment. That was across the board in the black community. But what's happened is the
I
uncleans.
tried that shit with my daughter.
Exactly, and you corrected.
I was on the road. I'm a truck driver, 27 years. I was on the road. Come to the crib. My daughter was like maybe 17, 16, 17. She's 17. She was a senior. He come to the house. He had braids in his head. That was number one. That was a flag. My son called me immediately. He said, Daddy, here. I said, is he? He said, yeah. I said, what he got on, champ? He said, and his pants is sagging. I said, he's sitting on my couch. He said, yeah. I said, put him on the phone. I said, hey, man, I said, you sagging in my house? You got your ass on my couch? He was like, I said, okay, that's flag number one. I said, but number two, why aren't you driving? Why is my daughter driving? Well, because my parents won't let me use the car. Flag number two. You just went from 1 to 3, really.
Quick.
Because if your parents don't trust you with their ride, how the hell I'm gonna trust you with my daughter?
Set a mouthful.
Man, you got me fucked up. For real. You got me straight fucked up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I told my daughter, I was married at the time. I told my daughter, my ex-wife, I said, listen, I said, because she want to go, I'm going to let her go this time. But I told him, don't think that you're going to be parlaying in the ride because she got a little car and y'all at school and you just whipping around. Because I put gas in it. It move when I say it move. It's in my name. I pay the insurance. It move when I say move. So if I say it ain't going nowhere, it ain't going nowhere. So next time y'all decide to go out, you better pull up in 4 wheels. I don't give a damn if you're on a bicycle. You better pull up on something. Pull up on something.
Keep that thought. 'Cause I got a question for you after I ask this about. We're gonna tell you something. This show is called Classic Conversations because we really start with something and we roll. So that, as you see, that's what we're doing. But right now, I just thought about something, so I wanted to come back to it. The sentencing, I'm asking law enforcement cats here, is it more of a, can you add more years on or different charges for a mass shooting?
No, but that's probably where they're headed. They'll do something stupid like that, because to me, it's no different. I mean, if my son gets killed by anybody, to me, it should get the same weight as a mass shooting. A mass shooting really isn't anything spectacular. A person that did it is still a murderer. And when you start singling out and making one worse than another, you know what happens? That's going to be where it falls further and further into the cracks every time a black male is killed or every time there's a black female missing. When you try to group everything together, that's why I don't want them to marry into our plight. Like we talk, how many times we talked to the show about Black Lives Matter and how they got hijacked. And I think this time they pimping the fact that we killing each other at accelerated rates, whether people think it's not important or not. How many times you heard a person on TV that's supposed to be in our best interest say, oh, don't bring that up. That's not nothing to do with it. We're talking about police shootings right now. Okay, fine. But at what point are we going to have a discussion about how we're killing each other at accelerated rate? Yes, do they kill each other? Yes. But we're 15% of the population. We can account for 68% of the ag assaults. And in the city of Atlanta, 98.8% of the homicides. And you know what color? There was 99 in 1999, 2020 when I left after 30 years. When I left on July the 18th, there was, I think it was 74 or 76 homicides. By year end, it was 156.
In the city of Atlanta.
And that's the city of Atlanta. But the city of Atlanta mirrors every other predominantly black city in America. That's Chicago, Cleveland, Baltimore. You talked about Baltimore. And I'll say one more thing, and I'll let it go for a minute. Remember about a week ago, you talk about being at a game. And there's some young black males out and they between 18 and their 20s, and they was cussing and doing whatever. I don't care what it is. I don't care if you're a drug dealer, whatever your vocation was. If we hanging out on the corner, when somebody old came along or somebody older, what did you do? You shut the fuck up, right?
Right.
That was respect.
Fact.
That respect factor's not there anymore. It's just not there.
So how do we justify the fact that Congress just held a meeting to pass an Asian hate crime law?
Well, to answer your question first, JT, and it goes to your question, it's not an additional sentence. You just because you're gonna charge for every person that got shot, so you're gonna have multiple murders and or ag assaults to that charge. But I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to figure a way to, to group it in terms of the hate crime. You know what I mean? So if there's a mass shooting, well, who got shot? You know what I'm saying? So then you can identify, can we add hate crime to that particular mass shooting? And then goes into that point of insane is all I can say to that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All I can say to that is insane. It's insane that bill passed so fast.
Oh, bro.
That bill that quick.
So fast. Just like that.
I almost had a joke, but I don't want them to get mad at me.
Hey, look, me too. I was curious to see something too. I said, let me stop.
Yeah, I mean,
the views expressed by Soccer Boss do not reflect the views of JT and Lowe.
If you don't vote for me, you're not black. Right? Remember when he said that?
Yeah.
And what has he done?
You want a bill? We make for you 5 minutes.
Asian and Pacific Islanders.
He's done what every president and every person in his office has done. The same thing. look out for everybody else
until they get in the chair.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we have yet to be a priority to any administration. Right. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna just single out Biden. It's been any we hadn't been a priority to no administration. Every bill's gotten passed except that one. You know. Well, I won't even say except that one. There's nothing hasn't even been introduced.
Right.
Nothing's even been introduced. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And they use the excuse of the black on black crime. Well, why are we gonna do? All they gonna do is kill each other. All they gonna do is this. All they gonna, you know what I mean? So you know, we talked about it before. Dave Chappelle's skit, man, when he said when he talked about the reparations and how all the chicken places went out of business and every Cadillac was sold, and you know what I mean? That's how they see it, though, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how they see us.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, we're fabulous people now. We're fabulous like a motherfucker, boy. Don't give us no loot. You gonna know when we got some money.
You ain't lying.
You gonna know it quick.
Shout out to everybody that got them PPP loans.
Well, they had Lennox on crunk, didn't they? Everybody at the Louis store. Everybody.
Can get one.
Man, I was like, God, dog.
Yes. Yes, that is mind-boggling. And it's mind-boggling because, like you just said, Lennox was crunk, you know what I mean? But we as a people still don't support our own, you know what I mean? You didn't find what the black-owned businesses didn't say, man, we just blowing up.
Right.
I mean,
not
all the
one
PPP money, I mean, they buying us out this year. You ain't hear none of those stories.
Not one of them.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we have a lot of fault in our own neighborhoods, and you know, and a lot of stuff. I don't know how much has changed from I know we say back in the day because every generation always says the next generation is worse than theirs. You know what I mean? Our grandparents were saying the same thing. You know,
Yeah.
But back in the day, you know what I mean, we didn't do that. You know what I mean? So it just progressively gets worse. You know, and I think a lot of it is advancement. I think we talked about, you know, the social media climate. You know, the social media climate, I think, is completely dangerous to our society. You know what I mean? You know, like Saga said earlier, man, you literally get folks killed because of a light or non-light.
Or not like.
You know, you got folks showing up people's houses. They show all the stuff on all the good fights on the internet. You know, girls fighting each other because of something on Facebook.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Swipe past my picture.
Yeah, it just be that simple.
It definitely accelerated our decline. You know, when you look at it just straight across the board, because now everything where it would be word of mouth and it may not travel past where it happened, now instantly the whole world sees it or our whole community sees it. And I think and that just keeps the bad stuff going. You know, like I said, when somebody runs afoul of law enforcement, now everybody sees it instantly, which was good because just like Trump pulled a blanket off of America and we saw America for what it was, everybody saw, okay, white privilege does exist. But I think what the media has done is shown just how much we've assimilated. Okay, and I know this is gonna rub we don't really have a white audience, but what I think it offends them when we say black, we're gonna buy black on black, or we're gonna do whatever, or we have pride in our culture, it's always looking at it, well, why you mentioning that? Why you mention that? And any Italian American, the first thing you meet in the town, I'm Italian American. Anytime you meet a Cuban, man, I'm Cubano. And don't call a Puerto Rican Cuban. He'll flip his wig.
what?
Or Mexican.
Or Mexican.
Or Mexican.
Boy, you right. That's a
I do that
fight.
sometimes be funny.
Let me ask you
That's
this.
a fight.
Do you agree that when Trump was president, that all the shit that he did, we needed to see that?
Facts.
Do you agree?
Facts.
We needed
Yeah.
to see that.
Oh, 100.
I truly agree.
I mean,
with that.
He did more for us as a people than any other
the simple
president.
fact, the simple fact that he was elected, period,
Right. Exactly.
showed not only us, man. It showed the United States across the world. It just showed a weakness within our country.
My point exactly. But we needed to see someone like that in the White House in order for us, everyone, honestly, to take the position serious. Being the president of the United States is not a joke. He don't make a whole lot of money, but his power is crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
His power is crazy, But as a country, we needed to see that. Unfortunately, we needed to see it.
Oh yeah, he's like I said, he was the best thing for America because America can't remain the same. This is the start of a change that I cannot,
We might not be able to see that change completely.
Well, no, I think it's going to be so rapid because of mass media. They can't squash it. They can't, make Mega Evers disappear. They can't make, they can't make us disappear. This is out, and the best thing about Trump, I love Trump. Because if Trump wouldn't have happened, when have you ever seen us as a people as close as we are now? Because when we was growing up, the first thing you did when you came in, bro, we dapped up.
Right.
Boom, we bumped shoulders, Man, because remember when you used to go to the club, it may take you 20 minutes to dap every motherfucking brother up in that damn club. But you had to dap everybody up because they always talk about, don't disrespect me, don't look at me. No, back in the day, if you didn't dap somebody up,
That was disrespect.
that was a disrespect.
Yeah.
So literally, if there was 20 motherfuckers there, you had to do the same. Good God, you be in a sweat almost.
Arm tired.
That's why you see a bunch of brothers, you know how you used to do? It was real quick, hit the shoulders, And yeah, but we don't have that love for each other. Well, we have a love for each other. You showed it when you came in, bro. But that's what we forgot. Man, that's one thing everybody used to say about black people. We love each other. Man, now these jokers, the first thing they do, man, they come in, bucko foul, looking at you like,
Buckle 5.
just so hard. They just so hard.
Looking people up and down.
They're hard, but they have no love
Sizing
for each
people
other.
up. Yeah.
And that's the point I'm saying. We've assimilated to the point that I think we forgot who we were as a people.
That goes back to what I said earlier, though. It starts at home.
Oh yeah. But there's no home.
And I say this all the time. If you think about it, like I keep saying, back in the day, the neighborhood could discipline you if you did something wrong. The next door neighbor can get on you. Now, shit. I wish
I wish you would.
Uncle Bernie said, I wish a motherfucker would.
Yeah. The village mentality.
And that starts, that foundation to the respect and everything else starts there.
And have your ass on home when the street lights
Before
come
them street lights come on.
I just broke my son down a couple weeks ago. He's 22. He leaned in on me, talking about, I think I can get you now. I said, man, go ahead on with that bullshit. Go ahead on now. He know my knee little fucked up. So I said, look here, man, go ahead on with that bullshit. He's like, nah, I think I can get you. So I felt him kind of put his weight on me, Looking at him like, man, you better go ahead on. And here you go. He buck about, I don't know, he probably about 175, you know what I'm saying? He done been through the military. He done went through basic training. He got a little strength on him. Man, I tried to break that. I tried to wrap him up like a damn pretzel. But like you were saying, though, bro, it starts at home. But ever since he been a kid, his ultimate goal is to beat me. He sets his sights on me.
That's out of love, though. That's different.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Love.
Exactly.
Hey, man,
so
that's
I know.
that's where it's supposed to
and
be.
I knew that when I was doing certain things, when he came into this world, I had to tighten up. I had to tighten up, because I knew he was going to come up right behind me. But like you said, it starts at home.
So
I had to correct myself so that way he wouldn't be out there doing it and protect my name, keep my name clean. Can't nobody say nothing about me in these streets that ain't right.
Right.
So he understands that,
But
at the end of the day, I tightened him up real quick.
Yeah.
You know what I told him, though? I said, look here, I said, we stood out. I said, look at the deck. He looked. I said, you notice ain't nothing moved? I said, so I had you under control the whole time. I said, now if it been
Wasn't even no furniture moving out there.
Ain't no furniture moving.
Now take your ass.
Old bull, young bull.
Now take your ass in the house and wash them damn
Right,
things.
you know what I'm saying?
Take that trash out.
But it does. You're right. It starts at home, but that is from love. That was from love, and we had a good time. We was able to laugh about it, whatever. But it does. It starts at the house.
So based on that scenario, because I agree, but based on the scenario of it starts at home, so are we saying that things such as, the new mass murders and the new disrespect level Is it due to the overwhelming single mother households?
Oh, hell yes.
Not
So.
just that though.
Oh, for Winfrey.
That's politics. See, because Section 8 is designed
To keep you in it.
is designed to separate the father from the house. See, the mother and the kids could stay there for $15 a month as long as there ain't no man in the house.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
But even
Wink,
with that
wink,
though,
wink.
if because there's situations where the father is excluded or not allowed, they don't have to live in the same house to co-parent and still raise that young man accordingly.
You're right.
But it started with a trim.
And we're gonna have you back on for that show.
Oh,
We're gonna have you on for that show.
well, certainly.
Yeah. That's
Say
that's
just
gonna
'cause you move,
that's gonna
just
be a
'cause
show.
You got a different zip code don't mean you ain't no daddy, right? Dig you. I ain't mad at
And
you.
let the church say amen.
Yeah, but
Now-
it's different. But I think Oprah Winfrey played a bit into that, and Lifetime, and all those different shows. Because the difference is, it's like I can look at her, you with her. I can tell you this: when you just yell it out so they can hear you. When you go to a barbecue, who fixes his plate? Okay.
A woman does.
Exactly.
A real woman will.
When you go to a house party, who fixes his plate? When you go to his mama house, you ask his mama, can you fix his plate? You know what I'm saying? But that's something that's forgotten. And I think what it is because
see that one coming. That was a good.
Yeah,
you
that
know
was
what
good.
I'm saying? In certain shows, but what I think has happened, and it goes back to the way I heard on Good Times all the time. Good Times put Esther in the role as the head of a household. I was raised, my daddy raised me. We came, my mom put the food on the table. When he came through the door, we all sat down around the table. We passed the food. He asked you, how was school? What did you have for lunch? I knew what I was going to say. And you couldn't say you forgot. And went around asking the same questions. We said, Grace, you know, it was just, but that was his time to break bread with us, and he brought the bread, but my mom was a teacher, and she taught. And so the money was there, but it wasn't about the money, it was about the togetherness and family. And I got uncles and aunts where the aunt made more than the uncle. But it was a fact that my uncles were always the head of household. And I think what's happening is now there's been so many women that are the head of households. And that doesn't mean, and that's not necessarily like to some do some wonderful jobs. What I'm saying is diminished what the male's supposed to be. And strong women in the past would tell you a man is, runs a household. But I think what's happening now, because you get younger and younger women involved, women have forgot to nurture their men. And the strongest thing about a black man in the past was always, I know the strongest thing about my daddy is my mom. You understand what I'm saying? And I think,
Yeah.
Yeah. And that goes back to what you were saying. We don't have that family aspect anymore, so we've lost that, and now the woman thinks that she doesn't need a man. Instead of saying that
She thinks she good with Bob. Her
Exactly.
and Bob are great.
Exactly.
Bob,
But then again,
battery operated boyfriend.
and then what happens is a lot of black men don't know how to be a man, so I can understand why black women don't have the confidence of black men.
That's what I was gonna go to, because now, I get a little bit of what you're saying, but there's situations where women have to be that. And
because they're black.
I tell, as I got older, me and my guys would be talking or whatever, they would meet a woman that has kids, and they was trying to figure out how to fit in. I'm like, dude, you got to understand something. This lady has been everything for her family for the last 8 or 9 years. You come along, y'all been dating for 6 months, and now you expect for her to just say, it's all you, King. No. You have to give that lady time to adjust to that type of thing.
Right.
See, so some of that, a lot of that falls on us.
Yeah.
And then it comes back to what one of us just said it, that men don't know how to be men. And it doesn't mean that you have to be overpowering to be a man.
Right.
You have to have patience in that type of situation. Again, it's all types of reasons and situations why a father could not be in the house or not be in the child's life. But if you come into that child's life, there's no reason for you not to be a man to that child. Now, yes, you're gonna meet some that's just not gonna let you, and that's when you have to make a decision.
His baby is kids.
But you have to be, I don't want nobody to think we up here bashing y'all ladies out there.
Oh, no, that
especially
wasn't a
single
knock
mother.
at
Yeah,
all.
I know it wasn't. And the thing is, some people, like you said, they don't just take one thing and they're ready to fight.
Run with it, yeah.
Let me ask you a
So
question.
I keep looking at my comments. I'm like, oh man, somebody gonna come up here and go off.
No, but the difference is, okay, let me clarify, just 1 second, let me clarify. That wasn't a knock on black women because black women back in the day, if it was a single black woman through divorce or whatever, that black woman didn't bash black men. She would tell her son that, you need to step up, be a man. You're the man of the family. And it put a lot of pressure on black men. But they were told, step up, be a man, do this. And she said, direct him. You need to be able to do this. You need to stand up. You need to provide for your family and tell them things like that. So black women were always a support. And if the black man wasn't there, she supported it. But the difference is, prior to Jim Crow, I think the numbers is in the 80s of black children born into wedlock under Jim Crow. After Jim Crow and to today's date, the number is 78% that are born into single-family households. And I'm only saying that to say that the woman that's parenting isn't the woman that was parenting when we were kids if she had a single family. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, I agree. I was raised by a single mother. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
And she was strong.
And
Especially nowadays,
super
you got
strong.
kids raising kids.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That
wasn't a knock.
She's simply my hero.
Yeah.
You know what I
Exactly.
mean? She raised three boys on her own with no support.
Exactly. And she,
You know what I mean?
And she told you how to treat a woman. You understand what I'm saying?
Well, my mom, it was more so, everything she did was more by example. She was in the military.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So she was gone a lot. We didn't have that household where we sat at the table and, how was school today? You know what I mean? She might have been in the field for 2 weeks. You know what I mean? She might have been in class, you know what I mean? So, we had to do a lot of things, just as growing up, but she set such an example.
Yeah.
But I think the family part, I mean, we were gone all the time, but every time we came home, there was a staple family. I mean, there was grandparents.
family,
There was
yeah.
but grandparents were there. The grandparents set the tone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I had a grandfather that was, that was the man of the house. You know what I mean? Although my grandmother was, she was a strong black woman. You know what I mean? But you knew, that's when you kind of saw what the family environment is supposed to be like.
Right.
You know what I mean? So then when we left,
Yeah.
it's back to us. But again, you just follow by example. And I think, even though there's a lot of single family households, the reason I asked that question earlier because I think the family part of it is missing, even more so than just a single mother.
They more so just live together. They're more so almost just live together. It's not a family. I see what you're saying. It's not a family.
It's no family.
It's just
You know what I
passing
mean?
each other by.
Yeah, there's no family, and
that's
there's nothing to go home to.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean, there's no
values.
community. Where's that community at? Where's that strength at?
Even bigger than that, family. I know you mean the family as in, mom, dad, kids at the table thing. But nowadays, the family in general, I'm talking cousins. We got cousins that we never even met. We 40 years old. That plays a big, because sometimes a lot of these black on black crimes, and I'm laughing because this just happened in my family. One cousin killed another cousin, didn't know they was related.
Oh,
Damn.
I can see that in these times. Go ahead, you
Yeah.
had a question, brother.
Yeah, let me ask you, do you think that some of the things is a power of the tongue? See, I caught myself, of course, with most of us, when we know better, we do better. I caught myself some years ago telling my daughters, be strong, so you don't have to need a man for nothing. See, when you say those things so you don't have to need a man for nothing, it's a subliminal message that I can grow up, I can be this phenomenal queen or whatever, and I don't have to have a man. But that's not the way it was written biblically. The man is supposed to be the head of the house. So when I realized that, I changed my words. I tell them, do what you do and get your education, and you get a man when you can't get nothing else. After you done reached all your goals, because men gonna be there to the end of time. Get your career stable. get your mind right, know where you're going. So therefore, when you do run across that man, you run across that quality man that's at your level. So we gotta watch what we say to our young girls as well. You can't say, you got to be strong so you don't need a man for nothing, because she feels at that moment that she won't have to have a man. She don't need a man. And it's not that she needs a man. The man is what complements her, and she complements him when you find that right one. Follow what I'm saying?
I don't have any girls, so I can't really answer that question. But I would just imagine that as a father, a present father, that the girl that grows into it, to the young lady that grows into the woman, even with those words being said, I think, again, what I said, like with me and mama, I think it's a matter of what they see. You know what I'm saying? I think most women, just talking to women throughout the course of the night. I own a strip club, so I'd heard 1,000 stories from women about how they got to that point. You know what I mean? And 90% of them was due to the lack of that father figure. You know what I mean? So I think with women, typically, if that father figure is there, even though you said you don't need a man for nothing, I think, what you're telling them is, have a standard.
Right, but that's what
have a standard of the man.
You got to realize at what age you're telling them that.
You got to have a standard.
Whatever growing up in life.
And see that
you want to answer that question?
That's something else. When you just said about the age thing, when y'all just commented that women were telling their sons, "You the man of the house now." It's not good.
No, but
when he's 7 years old, I know it happened. I know it did. But when he's 7 and 8 years old, or 10, 11, or 12, you tell him he's the man of the house.
Step up.
If you tell him enough, his mind is going to flip, and he's not going to live as a kid.
There you go.
And a lot of these young men that's out there right now never lived as a kid.
I think it's the way society's set up in our communities now.
And that's interesting, though.
They're unable to be kids.
No. You can be a child wherever you at.
My mama never told me I was a man in the house.
You can be a child.
She ran the house.
Same thing with mine. Same thing with mine. She said.
Never no confusion.
Yeah. My mother said you the male that lives here. You the male that lives here, but you ain't the man of the house. Don't get it twisted.
Well, I should say this then, because I grew up in a different.
And see, the thing is, you can be
I would
a
say
kid.
this, and
Many things I didn't do in life.
I can say this. I used to overhear my moms, my aunts, and my grandmothers, because I grew up more in the country, and when everybody was at the grandmama's house, the boys stayed over here and the girls stayed over here, and sometimes you hear them, and I'd always hear them say, you better get somebody. Don't marry nobody. Don't bring no man around that doesn't do at least what your father did for you. And that made us hear that, and my uncles and my dad and my granddaddy used to say it. So it made us say, okay, you're going to be a good dad because like the father-daughter dance, different things you do, because you wanted to make sure your daughter knew how a man should treat them. So when they came around, anybody, oh, you don't treat me as good as my daddy does. Step it up, or they're not even going to be attracted to that guy. And I think what happens now, a lot of girls are attracted. It's then one thing being attracted. You want a tough guy, whatever. But now they just attracted to shit. And so when you don't have a moral level, when you don't have a moral level,
and you know what? You're right, because like Angela said, they're attracted to what they see. And a lot of the times it's not about what they see at home. These days they can see it anywhere. And all they see is the sagging, the gold teeth. And again, if you, I ain't gonna say if you sagging, that's your thing. That's some bullshit. Stop sagging. But it's what they see. And sometimes it's not even about what they see at home anymore. I'm like Angela, I didn't have a daughter. I had a stepdaughter now, but I didn't have a daughter. And, when I can only speak on with a boy, you can't tell a little boy that he's the man of the house, because there ain't no stepping up that a 12-year-old can do other than take the garbage out faster.
Now, I used to tell my son that when I would leave and go on the road, I would tell him while I'm gone, you the man of the house. You lay your head down after everybody else lay their head down. That was to give him a mental training.
How to do it when he gets older. Yeah.
He understands that
see,
you don't lay your head
but with
down
that,
before your woman. You make sure your door is locked.
Yeah.
You make sure your windows is closed, whatever. That's how you protect
Like
your
you
house.
take
But
your
see, with
wife's
that,
car to get
that's
the
one
oil
thing.
changed,
But when
tires,
somebody is
things
telling
like
a little boy that he's the man of the house and there is no other man in the house,
Right.
some of these kids will take it literally and start trying to be the man.
Right.
So now what you got a 13-year-old boy saying, I'm the man of the house. I
Trying
got to
to tell his
protect.
mama
I
what
got.
to do.
I got to protect the house. Guess what? You know, Ray got them guns down there. You know, in the back of the auto shop. I'm gonna go get one so that I can protect the house.
More like take the trash
you know,
out.
you
things
get
of that
you
nature.
get if you keep putting that into kids, they end up growing up too fast. And
I guess it's different. When I grew up, it was like, to me, I was taught that a man takes the trash out. A man doesn't let a woman take the trash out. A man cuts the grass.
Who taught you that?
My dad.
There you go.
Most of the people.
Okay, let me speak on. Stop speaking on shit I didn't experience. But I just know that if you got a lady, you don't let your lady get an oil change. You don't let your lady.
I've seen
the
these
tires.
saggy pants jokers at the gas station
Sitting in the car.
sitting in the car while the woman is pumping the gas, and I be like,
no,
what?
bro.
How dare
I see these women.
why would the
with
woman
men.
allow that?
Hey,
Angelo, can I tell you?
I
look,
never pumped
no.
gas
Watch
when I was
this.
growing
I've
up.
seen them
My daddy
actually.
beat my natural boy
And I've
ass.
seen them actually get
My
out of the
mom got
car.
out and pumped gas.
I don't think they like that
I've
part.
seen dudes get out of the car and stand there and talk to their lady while she's pumping the gas.
Let me tell you a
and she
true-
talked back to
Let me
him.
tell you a true damn
Oh,
story.
my
That's the
God.
problem. And she talking back
Let
to
me
me.
tell you this true story. I rolled up one time. It was in the middle of the winter. I don't know. It was probably 20-something degrees. Rolled up. My ex-wife at the gas station getting gas. About 20-something degrees outside. It was cold as shit. My son was in the car. I rolled up and I opened the door and I snatched his ass out the car.
As you should.
And she said, what you doing? I said, why ain't he pumping the gas? She said, it's cold out here. I said, I don't give a fuck about it being cold. He get back in the car with the heat. You don't pump no gas while he's in the car. You don't pump it with me. You don't pump it with him.
bro.
This is where he learns right here. Get your ass over there and get on that pump.
Period.
My grandfather
get
wouldn't let
back
my
in the
grandmother.
car, and
We was
you'll warm
raised.
up.
She can't bring the groceries in the house.
Exactly.
If there's a man there, you're not supposed
I'm
to.
sitting there thinking, man, I don't like you. I just heard Dwayne. I just heard you say about driving, bruh. I mean, it's like automatic. When me and my wife leave the house, she automatically goes to the other. Sometimes it gets on my nerves. I be shit, bro. I want to sit on the side today. When I come outside, she already sitting on the passenger side.
Hey, I'm a truck driver. I don't drive on the weekend.
You know that. But look, hey, long, like when we rolling, traveling. Oh yeah, I put it behind that wheel coming back now. Oh, yeah.
I heard that.
Yeah, I'm gonna put you over here coming back. Yeah, you can get a couple hours in today. You know, you gonna get you. Yeah.
I will jump on the passenger side in a heartbeat on the weekend, bro. I drive for a living. Fuck yeah. Hey, look here.
I feel you on that one.
I'm on the passenger side with this right here in my hand.
I ain't mad at you on that one.
See here.
Yeah,
I'll get out, put the gas in the car. I'll open the door for her. But I ain't rolling that wheel if I don't have to.
I feel you on that.
There's just little things like you see women now. It's like the men don't open the door for them before. You need to break your neck getting to a door, open it up for your lady. No, she shouldn't. No, she shouldn't.
Right.
And that's
Now,
in
see,
the
we clean going out
You teach
somewhere,
them young,
and
man.
I'm driving. If we
Is
dress
it-
to go
there
somewhere,
you
then I'm
go.
driving without
There
a
you
doubt.
go. There you go.
I already know.
Right.
I'm open passenger door. She gonna get in. I'm driving. But if we just out kicking it, just hanging
On the weekend,
bar
you
hopping,
get that.
she and me. On the passenger side.
I want to bring something up on a response here from earlier because you had said about Trump pulled the layers back, but Viande made a good point. I think we brought this up before that Obama was a start of the change. Without Obama, there was no Trump, and that's true. If you think about it,
Yeah.
Obama pissed them white folk off so bad.
To where they
Oh,
ain't
no.
to
Don't
where-
get me wrong.
to where
I'm not
they
saying I
said-
like Trump.
Yeah.
They said
What
they,
I'm saying-
No, I know
Right,
that.
yeah.
I'm just saying
Oh, yeah.
Trump was actually the start of peeling back because Cause it's amazing
I'm
how
gonna let us down the second go.
I don't know how it is. I'm on this group where there's something things go live, and all of a sudden it goes live. You get all the responses, and it's every day. But I remember when President Obama was in office, them white folks were saying, well, "That's not my president." But then when Trump got in office, and the folks were saying, "That's not my president," all them folks were like, "Well, you need to lead the country."
No,
you know what I mean? It's like, wait a minute now.
Go back
just
when
4
it
years
first
ago,
started.
it was okay.
Yeah.
Go back when it first started. It was a nationally televised event, and that other person that was in Congress as a congressman referred to him as Obama, and then it became fashionable to call the president by
His
Obama.
first name, you're right.
Obama, like they knew him, like they slept with. Remember before?
Absolutely.
We called people Mister, and or Mrs. And they called Obama like they slept with him last night.
That's right.
And I
I
think
swear
that
to God,
disrespect,
if I could see Trump, I'd
that
slap
was
the
the
shit out of
first time. But see,
Hey, man, I
what
never
I
called
like
a dude
about
by his
Trump
name.
is the fact that
I called him 4 or 5
President
the whole time.
Obama is like he didn't.
4 or 5.
He was so proper. He didn't take the gloves off and call America out for who America is. Okay, America didn't recognize that America was fucked up until Trump got in the office. Because what happened was Trump pulled the tablecloth off and everybody said, "Oh shit, I can be myself." And that's when they were out in public. Remember how white people were calling people niggers
You know what
in
used
public?
to piss me off more than
My aunt wrote, not to cut you off, but Nita wrote a play about that. Said they refused to call me president. She did a whole play on that jump for President Obama. They refused to call me president. Yeah, she did a whole play on that jump. Yeah.
I feel that it's no.
He became a politician.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
He acted like a politician.
it's like we
And
talk.
he didn't feel the struggle.
It's like we talk about being.
didn't feel the
We
struggle.
talk about being black and blue. You know what I'm saying? You got these white cops out here. They got a little animosity towards some black folks. Guess what? If one of them step out of line, we're gonna put them in line. When you black and blue, I'm sure that you got some animosity against a white person, but you don't hear nothing about, and I'm sure it happens, but you really don't hear anything about a black cop doing anything to a white person out of line. I'm sure it happens. But
It's not because I think too. It's like.
What is it? White people ain't got cell phones that they
No,
record?
if you get
it's on a smaller scale.
if you get in law enforcement for the right reason, I think a lot of African Americans that get into law enforcement get into it for the right reason, and it's something that we've forgotten.
I don't believe that.
No, I'd say this: most African Americans, and what do people always say? We're the most loving people that ever was.
And forgiving.
We're forgiven. And see, this is
because no, but my point
this
is
is what I say about Obama. Why he? I mean, I
I
don't
just
know
don't
the
think
man.
he identified with the struggle. He never felt it.
I don't know the man, but
nor did anybody in his family,
but
white
I don't.
and African.
I just don't think that he. I feel that there were things that he probably wanted to do or say that he wouldn't because he was the first black president.
No, I think he didn't feel comfortable. Because,
You know why he didn't feel comfortable? Because he knew the white people was gonna go off on him,
I don't
and
even
now he's
think
gonna
that.
be this bad
I
president.
I don't even think that because I love listening to his speeches because he's probably other than him and Bill Clinton, nip and tuck as far as the best speakers, and I think he wrote his own speeches, and I love listening to him. But where I think the disconnect came, it's like on me on certain topics. I grew up differently, so I assume, and assume makes an ass out of you and me, and y'all corrected me on that. But what I think what happens with Obama, he never, he grew up in Hawaii. His dad was African.
But think about it. What president
You stuck.
do you? Because I heard you talking about this the other day. Are we ever going to have a black president that's felt the struggle?
I think so. I think you know
now,
why
now
he's
the other
going to
day,
come out?
last week,
I think
last week,
guaranteed-
wait, last week,
Black Lives Matter. I think
last
now.
week, you said it last week that these kids that's growing up
That's what I said, Black
with
Lives
the
Matter.
10%, the uncleans as their parents.
Yeah.
They feel the struggle. But you said you can't tell them that they can be president because they can't see it because they're growing up with the uncleans.
What I mean by that is when you have people that walk away and turn their back and don't identify with the American dream. If a lot of the black Americans that are born don't identify with the American dream.
Stay right there. Let me have 2 of them chicken tacos with no tomatoes, please. Yeah, that's what I want.
And
Okay,
two
go
shrimp
ahead.
tacos. The food is outstanding here, just like the
It's Taco Tuesday down here, y'all.
It
Tacos
was.
on
You
point.
can't go wrong with the
Woo,
food.
can't go wrong with that. Yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
yeah.
2 shrimp. 2 shrimp. Let's go.
Matter of fact, make sure you
Shrimps.
make sure you write chicken on mine. So,
He's allergic.
yeah, make sure you write chicken on mine. Okay.
Ain't nobody
yeah.
doing mouth. Ain't nobody doing mouth to mouth in here.
Yeah,
Rewind
sure
what
ain't.
you was saying.
Yeah.
Okay, now, yeah.
Now, I grew up in L.A. I grew up in the streets of L.A. Okay. I had more black cops do me dirt bad than I did white cops.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah. They try to make a point.
God.
They try to make a point and impress.
Okay, I can say about Atlanta.
Bruh, when I tell you, this is what I know. A lot of those officers got into the force because that's the biggest gang out there. Police.
I beg to differ
being
because-
a police officer is the biggest gang hands down, and ain't no repercussions on their asses. See, I say this right now. You'll stop a lot of this police brutality if when they asses go on leave for shooting somebody, they don't get no pay. See, they go on leave with pay. That ain't nothing but a fucking vacation.
That's what I said in the song.
Take that pay away. Take that money away, because I'm going to tell you what happened then. This is what happens. Depending on how long it takes to solve that case, you're going to start
Got no check.
You're going to start having bills backing up. Motherfuckers knocking on your door for your car. Your wife going to get on your ass. You're going to have all of that. So when you go back to work, you're going to think about the struggle you just had, and you don't want it, because at the end of the day, your wife going to get in your shit.
Okay, I was a lieutenant. I ran SWAT, fusion, narcotics, intelligence. I'll tell you this. One thing you got to deal with. Atlanta's a black city. Black mayor, black chief. L.A. had Gates. Gates wrote a book that actually molded a lot of policing in major cities.
Exactly.
Okay,
Being part of
the
LAPD
difference is, to say that and
they sent people out there to get trained.
But my point is simply this, that when you say that and paint everybody with the same brush, that was your experience. But my experience and what I've seen in some of the black leaders that I've seen and people in law enforcement is in Atlanta it's just different, because there's not turn your back the other way in Atlanta.
But see,
Because
but what he's saying is,
To
I mean,
stop a lot of the police
you're
brutality.
saying that he's painting everybody with the same brush.
No, but you can't stop it like that, because, see, the thing is that you got to realize, and that's what's happening now that I talked about. They say hands up, cops are saying hands off, and why crime's going up. Officers have to be afforded the same rights as everybody else. Now, when it's a shooting that can clearly you see is bad, the officers are suspended without pay.
Who?
Since I ain't never heard of that.
Just
That's
see,
the
because
first I've heard of that one.
and that's part of what I think the Republican agenda was.
Now
in
that's
America.
now. Do you know that for a fact everywhere, or is that just Atlanta?
Okay, I'm speaking for Atlanta.
And this
That's
is what I'm saying.
Anytime,
we can't paint.
I know
you're
that
painting, you're
in
painting
other cities, when it's an obviously bad shooting, obviously meaning there wasn't no ifs, ands, buts, there's no gray area. There wasn't, well, let's look into it, let's investigate. Because what you got to look at when you say that, it sounds good when you say it and everybody going to high-five you and chest pump, but you got to look at it like this. As a truck driver, we'll just go back with your profession. Okay, right off the bat, we say, man, if a trucker, because those trucks have 80,000 pounds on the back, whenever they're involved in a wreck, their license should automatically be suspended, and they can't do nothing for X amount of time. What does that do to the truckers? Because that's how it is now, right?
Right now, if
Yeah.
I get caught
Anytime-
for a DUI, my license
no, not
going
with a
for-
DUI.
I'm getting ready to get where
Yeah.
you're going.
Accident.
A DUI, license going for a year without even going to court.
And a DUI has to be proven. So again,
Exactly.
it's the same thing
But
with the
if
violence.
you do that,
Charge. It's the charge.
what
It's
happens
a
if
charge.
Yeah.
It's a charge. That's a wrap. Unless you
I'm
plead
saying
to it.
just because you're charged for, not convicted.
If you're charged with a DUI,
Just
your
charged.
license is gone. If you charge, that means you're convicted, correct?
No.
If that, is that not? Is
No.
that not it?
No. When you
Okay,
get charged,
okay.
obviously you haven't got a DUI, because when anybody gets charged with a DUI, the first thing you do, you get a writ to drive on it. Once
Not
you
no
get
truck,
out, once you
ain't-
get out. Well, truck
Ain't
is
no
different.
trucking
Okay,
company
trucking
gonna
may
keep
be
you.
different.
They ain't
Okay,
gonna keep
they
you.
don't keep you. That's the trucking company.
Yeah, I
that
can,
does
I,
that.
I,
And
I
that's
can,
because
I can
insurance.
speak on that.
That's because
They're not gonna
insurance.
keep
But what I'm saying with law enforcement, if you start taking every officer that's involved in the shooting, we got to go back to the fact that the majority of shootings aren't bad.
And I get what you're saying. The majority is not
what
bad.
happens if you take all of a sudden, you say, officers, you're going to be suspended if you get involved in any shooting, black, white, yellow, green.
You know what it'll
happens?
do?
You're suspended with pay. If you take pay away, what do you think officers going to do? When that call comes up, when you get in the back of your truck and somebody's trying to jack your truck and put a gun in your face and you can't dial 911 and you waiting for police officers, how fast you think that officer's gonna get there when he's got three
But they
extra
not
jobs?
wait. They not getting there fast now. Don't get this shit twisted. Now hold on, wait. No. You all no. I've sat up here with you for months, and we've talked about how great Atlanta is. I know people in Atlanta that has called 911. Them motherfuckers did not get there in time. Ain't got shit to do with them getting their pay suspended. Some of them just don't give a fuck.
It's the volume of calls.
Some people,
Yeah,
some people,
short staff.
It's a volume
some
of calls.
people, some
Short
people,
staff
some
and the
people
volume of
join the
calls.
police force because they need a job. Let's not get it twisted. Everybody didn't grow up saying, I'm gonna be a cop. Nah, that's some
part of
bullshit,
the issue
man.
now. What's happening now?
Childhood issues.
Hey, his beard
You're not
turned black.
bringing in boy dogs anymore. You're not bringing in boy dogs anymore.
Some of 'em got
You're bringing a
childhood
lot of
issues.
people. You're bringing in a lot of people. You're bringing a lot of people now because of the way, like everybody's, hang them high. Fuck it, do this. And you're bringing a lot of people that are doing what? They're treating it just like it's a job, not a profession.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
But
What's the right reason? What's the right
You know
reason
what
to be
brought
a
that
cop?
about? You know.
What's the
you
right
know-
reason to be a cop?
You want to help people.
Okay, so like you just said, some people looking at it as just a job.
What's
they're
also
not
happening?
doing it to help
What's
people.
also happening when
Yeah, I didn't look at it to help
You
people,
know
but I
when that
looked at it as a
changed in
job.
Atlanta. You know when that changed in Atlanta. Oh, see, Sykes up here lying because
I didn't look at it as a. I didn't. No.
Well, you police. Well, okay, wait.
I was a good
When
police
you
officer. I was a good
you
police officer.
I would know that.
But I did.
I would know that.
That's correct.
So don't sit up here. Come on now.
No. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I didn't.
I police with
There were two things. There were two things I said in life that I would never do.
Mm-hmm.
I said I would never go in the military. I said I'd never be a police officer. And I did both them jokers. So never say never.
You did it well, and you did it well.
And I'm not. I want to clarify something.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that all police officers are bad.
Right.
I got cousins right now in Ohio that's in law enforcement. Love them to death. But what I am saying is that I have witnessed myself, whereas I don't know if you guys are, if you're familiar with it, but Crash Unit in L.A. They
I
used
know
to have
Crash Unit, yeah.
Unit, which is a
That's
gang
similar to our
business.
Red Dog, yeah.
Okay, was a gang operated unit, special gang unit. They would actually pick us up and purposely, this is real shit, y'all probably seen it
Drop
in the
in
movies,
different neighborhoods.
and drop us off in a different neighborhood. And you get home the best way you can. You know, but I got done that way by more black officers than I did white officers. Seriously. You know, and that's sad to say, but it's real talk.
Were you in a neighborhood that was mostly black officers?
No, it was mixed. It was mixed. You don't really, in LA, it's not set up like Atlanta. So you got a mixture of all types of officers in patrolling your neighborhood, regardless to what neighborhood you're in. You could be in all Hispanic.
Were you in a high crime neighborhood?
Ain't no neighborhood not high crime in LA. I'm just
No. Only reason I say it is because it's unfortunate, but in certain neighborhoods, if police officers work in certain neighborhoods, you're gonna have a certain mentality going to that neighborhood based on the volume of people you're dealing with and the type of people they are. Everybody's not the good guy.
I understand that, but let me ask you this: when you pull a car over, and ain't nothing on that computer to tell you that this person is armed, dangerous, been to jail, nothing like that. His registration is all legal, and he good. You don't need to come to my car with your weapon drawn.
Absolutely.
And
That was all the time. Just because I was a young black man that drove a nice car. My mama made good money, so she bought me a car.
Let me ask you this question. Do you believe that any of the officers that have been shot and killed or shot at or had altercations were with all dirty cars? or people who had tags all came out clean and everything was good, you think that means that all of them were just good guys and they just?
So you're saying in a regular stop, say for speeding or running a red light, and the cop pull him over, and the registration is clean, that person just pull out a gun and shoot the officer?
No, I'm asking you. Do you think that never happens? Just because the registration was clean means that's going to be a clean call.
Okay, so you're saying that the person in the car can still be clean because they be driving somebody else's car, is what you're saying?
There you go.
Okay, I follow you.
You don't, as a police officer, you don't know what you're getting into on any given call. And there's been many police officers been shot and killed without even as much as being able to ask for the driver's license.
I understand that.
Yeah.
They've been killed. They didn't even get a chance to draw their weapon.
I believe that.
You know what I'm saying? They didn't get a chance. And I know I've known them.
Like I said, I don't knock them.
In LA was doing when your age group, and you're probably a little bit younger than me, the same age as me.
We all
That's
in the
when
same era.
exactly. That's when LA gangs were tearing some ass up.
True.
Okay, so a lot of times what people got to see, if you pulling a car over in an area that's got tiger sharks and great whites, you're gonna handle it different than you will if you're in an area that's got guppies.
Okay.
Right.
I'm just being real. Just like in where race doesn't play in it, if you take your ass,
down there by the
no, but my
catfish
point
hole.
is, if you take your ass to the high end of Cascade, you're
What
when,
he's saying now, I agree with
yeah,
that.
that's what I'm
Now,
saying. Yeah, so it's
I
gonna be
understand
handled
the
different.
mentality.
Yeah.
But just to take a person and put them in another neighborhood and you get home the best way you can, that's
No,
just
that's
fucked
wrong.
up.
That's wrong. But see, you
Period.
got to realize, because some police think police is spelled, I said it several times in this show, G-O-D. That's how they spell police. And so those officers tend to weed out. Those guys that are gone in 3 years or get in trouble and they're weeded out. Now the problem is some departments don't weed them out.
They pulled me over on my 18th birthday because I was driving my stepfather's BMW and he had nice rims. The motherfucker was clean now. It was clean. I had a birthday party. He let me drive the car, so I run around the corner to the liquor store to get some ice. I'm coming back. They pulled me over in front of what, first of all, I wasn't going to stop when they first hit the lights on me anyway because the street was dark. I'm not stopping right here because I already know if they pull me over in this car, they're going to beat my ass. I already knew that. So I was right down the street from my house, so I kept going, turned the corner about a half a block, turned the corner, pulled up in the driveway. Everybody at the party, my mother, my stepfather, everybody came out. Gave me a field sobriety test. You've been drinking? I had one glass of champagne to toast for my 18th birthday. Was not drunk by far. 2 black officers. One officer talking to my parents, saying he looked like he did pretty good. He did good. My partner should let him go. Don't you know he cuffed me and took me on my 18th birthday in front of everybody.
I couldn't imagine growing up in LA at that time, bro.
Yeah, that was a rough ass city.
I mean, to be driving and the lights go on and you don't want to pull over because it's dark, bro. That's. I remember when I first moved to Cobb County. I remember how when I first moved here, everybody used to talk about how Cobb County was.
They did that.
As soon as we coming around the curve, we did like this. I knew
That's
they
that look.
U-turn. They did, and that's just what they did. Hit the U-turn and follow me until they got a half
Yeah,
block from my house. Is when they hit the lights. I just kept rolling. I was not gonna stop on that dark street.
Now let me ask you this in regards to the suspension of pay. Do you think that would make the investigation go faster?
No, definitely wouldn't, because see, and this is what people don't realize. I can only speak for Atlanta, but you can say that an officer called a Martian ship. They beamed down a stick and he beat you with that stick, and the Martian ship pulled the stick back up to the ship and then flew off. And Atlanta's gonna say, yes, sir, we'll be getting back with you. And it's good, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's bad, but every single complaint is taken in Atlanta, no matter if it's bullshit or not. So what you're saying with Austin, what people don't realize, especially with the younger officers today, they make $55 an hour in Atlanta to stand in front of somebody's club, to block traffic, direct traffic, and anything else they're doing. So do you really think that an officer, and just hear me out on this, I'm not saying for black people. I'm saying for black people that are living amongst the unclean, because the unclean are not a little bit off the reservation, but you know what I'm talking about. Uncleans victimize poor black people, the poor amongst us. So if you tell that officer, if he takes a chance and gambles to protect the area and does anything wrong and the shooting results, whether he's wrong or not, he's going to be suspended with pay. And I'm telling you, TV is not the way it happens. Any shooting investigation can last a year. And then once it lasts, until the DA's office decides to indict or not indict, and if it's close to that DA's year that she's getting, well, saying she now, but if Paul Howard was getting reelected, do you think Paul Howard's gonna let a case go forward that may put a black eye if he does the right thing? So it's gonna be pushed even further out. What that causes, just like anybody else, what that causes is those officers say, you know what? The ones that ain't right about it, they'll say, you know what? I get paid whether I chase that guy down in that alley or if I don't. I get paid whether if I get there before that guy leaves on that drive-by or if I go in the area and look for that guy in that, dark-colored sedan, 3 black heads. I'm gonna get paid if I go down and it's on H.E. Holmes and the MARTA stations there. They get paid on Friday, and everybody walking home from work, they're hard, busting their ass on a 40-hour-week job, gets robbed by the little uncleans. Now, when I was policing, we patrolled that area hard, and you know what we look for? Those 3 black goddamn heads in there, because we was gonna make sure those black people at work weren't touched by those uncleans. Now, when you just suspend everybody and paint them with the same brush, you know what those officers gonna do? Because you have kids, I got kids, you got kids, you got kids, you have kids. So what do you think? At the end of the day, you gotta make sure you can pay for those books. You gotta make sure your kid can get those wrestling fees or whatever if he's going to a tournament or whatever he's doing that weekend. You gotta make sure he's got the money to do it. Cop pay doesn't pay good. People didn't get into law enforcement to make money. Okay, so when you put that little moniker on it, okay, you going back to your house that a truck driver can afford, and you know it's a good one. And you sell a nice cigar. And you sell a nice cigar. You got to come to the club, and you going back, and I don't know what you do, sir, but with that ice, I know you do it quite well.
Next question, please.
Okay?
Next question, please.
And so you understand what I'm saying? And I know JT. I know what he going back to. So what I'm saying, I know what I go back to. So what I'm saying is the only people that are going to be victimized are the African Americans that got to live amongst the unclean, because now you got officers just like when Mayor Bottoms chose to wrongly, before it was investigated, fire those officers, and they didn't get the rights but the constitutional lines. That's why the city going to pay out on that. That's why they got their jobs back. Not saying they're right or wrong. I know them personally. I know the way the case went. They were right. And what did they do? They got overturned and they got their jobs back. But those officers weren't working
Like we
for a
said they
period
would.
of time, and they couldn't get their $55 an hour. And a lot of these kids, cops use that money. They're not partying. They use that money to put their kids in private schools. They got daughters and sons that they want to be better than them, so they send them to a goddamn college. So when you do that, the only person that gets fucked, and we talk about it a lot on this show, I do, is the fact that the poor African Americans that can't protect themselves get fucked because of black 10%. And I'll say it again, what the black 10% is the middle class, which all of us in, or upper middle class.
Shit, I don't even know
Basketball players,
no more.
football players, and everybody black that's making that money, that even if they live in a black area, it's a nice black area. So you're not affected, but you're writing a check that poor African Americans have to cash. So no, that wouldn't be a good idea. So you're saying just because you're a police officer, you lose your rights? Nah, that ain't a good idea.
I like it.
And it's not and again, it's not. I know Vianney, F word Paul Howard, I agree. And it's not that he's saying he said F word Paul Howard. And it's not saying that we're justifying anything that bad officers do. That's the key point. Mm-hmm. But you can't. It's the same thing. You can't put all of them in the same that brushstroke y'all said earlier. You know what I mean? You just can't just say all of them are bad. All of them doing X, Y, Z. There are some bad officers. Mm-hmm. There are some bad officers. There are some guys who, like you said earlier, you know, had, you know, got bullied in school, and this is their chance to, you know what I mean? They're out there. Nobody's gonna deny that.
Right.
But we can't just say all of them are just bad and everybody's just doing X, Y, Z. You know what I mean? Everybody has a story, you know, of getting, you know, unjustly handled by police officers. You know what I mean? I remember I was in college. I was at West Georgia, coming down here to pick up some of my boys going to Clark, going downtown Atlanta. You know what I mean? They pulled us over and pulled us all out the car, searching car, you know what I mean? But, you know, I was a young college student. I ain't want no problem, you know what I'm saying? But
I got to do it, though. Did you complain?
I did not complain.
Okay.
I did not complain. I just wanted to get up out of there.
I did. I was always a militant motherfucker.
Did you make a formal complaint?
I didn't make a formal complaint, but I was cussing at his ass.
JT.
You still 100%.
He said
I want to hear JT says.
He said every week, man. Listen, people.
And that's not to mean to be
If
insulting.
you get pulled over and you feel that you, matter of fact, when you get pulled over and they start going a little off the reservation, you should ask for, what is supervisor?
Immediately.
Ask for a supervisor immediately. If you thinking that an officer isn't being professional or something's not quite right, call for a supervisor.
But don't say, don't say, I want your MF and supervisor.
Don't do that. That's the way to do it.
I swear to you, I just started calling.
But the only reason, listen, people.
And I put them on the speakerphone. So
the only thing I'm saying, people, don't dial 911. I'm gonna tell you why. The reason you don't want to dial 911, what if you're right? That is one of those bad cops. You're reaching for something, and if you grab a cell phone real quick, and he is that officer's got a gun out, what might happen?
Mm-hmm.
That's why when the officer gets to the door, have your hands, turn the interior light on, have your hands on the steering wheel, and say, officer. And he said, if he's being rude or whatever, you say, officer, could you mind telling me why you stopped me, sir? Or you don't have to say, sir, officer, could you mind telling me why you stopped me?
Hey there, buddy. What are we doing right now?
Right.
No, my point is calm him down and say, officer, I'm not yelling. Is there a reason why you're yelling? And then you say, go ahead, officer, can you call a supervisor? I don't feel safe right now. And the beauty of what happens now, you have a body cam. People can talk all that shit, but a body cam is officer's best friend, but it's also your best friend.
But can't they turn that
Some of them don't have
No,
them
they
on.
cannot. See, please, I'm going to shoot that myth down. Do not let that urban myth
Atlanta
start
can't turn
going
theirs
around.
off.
Nobody in the country, nobody in the country, if you turn that off, you know what happens in Atlanta if you turn a call off on a call? Your
body camera
off on a call, guess what happens?
What's that?
Huh?
What's that?
You're fired?
You're fired.
Okay. How long has this been?
That don't bring back the life that
Since it's been here. Since the
camera's
camera's been here.
What year was that?
We got the cameras, I think, about 4 years ago. 4 years ago.
That's because I'm asking because 4 years ago my nephew got shot 76 times and there was no body cam footage.
Yeah, that's the song. You know the song that, yeah.
Kid, where's he shot at?
Where was he at?
Was that the kid that was
He's
up
about
in
the one that Saul was on.
County that was in
He's
the
about
car?
the case that Saul was on.
Nah, he wasn't in the car. They kicked the door in.
Man, kid got shot up.
He allegedly pointed a gun at a police officer.
He was on like
They kicked in the door, lit him up, shot over 100 times. He got hit 76 times. And then they showed his mom the picture of who they were looking for, and it wasn't even the right guy.
Damn.
No body cams. 4 years ago.
Wow.
So Viande said, to your earlier comment, Obama and Clinton were both great speakers because they were historians. They studied the craft of America. Orlena agreed with you, JT, that Obama was just a smart man who represented with intelligence and dignity.
Mm-hmm. More than any other president of modern time.
But they said to you, MJ, not sure how you could say Obama didn't recognize the struggle because his dad was from Kenya. Kenya is a beautiful place. I've seen it with my own eyes. People are struggling there. I think Obama had a good balance of both worlds. However, Obama's also saw the struggle in Hawaii as well. Hawaii is one of the most prejudiced places, and they are prejudiced in the world. When you talk about Native Hawaiians versus
anybody that's not Hawaiian.
People, Native Hawaiians, we bully. They'll beat you just because you ain't Hawaiian.
But it's done for a different reason. They're not getting beaten because you're black. They're not getting beaten because they're black. They're getting beaten because they're not Hawaiian. There's a difference. There's a difference. There's a big difference. Because I grew up on military bases, Korea and otherwise, and you may get bullied or fighting, and you fighting hand and tuck, but the white kids fighting with us. And It's not because you're American or because of whatever. And when you're in Hawaii, everybody they tell you, don't let them big Hawaiians catch your ass off base. You know what I'm saying? Them girls, look, don't come catch you off base, but it wasn't because you were black. It's a big difference getting your ass beat down because you're black or getting mistreated because you're black or getting a bottle thrown at you because you're black. And I'm not saying, don't get me wrong, people, I'm not saying he was a good president. He's going to be considered one of the best ever because he brought socialized medicine to America. We're the only westernized country that doesn't have socialized medicine. What I'm saying is, what I wanted him to do that second go-around, I loved him the first go-around. The second go-around, what I wanted him to do was put both hands on the table, call America out for who America is, but also call us out for the stuff we talk about on the show that we could improve. And he was such an eloquent speaker, he would have been able to put it in words that wouldn't have offended. That wouldn't have offended the masses.
I can dig that.
I don't know if it wouldn't have offended the masses.
Well, I don't care if it offended them, but they would understand.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, okay, because he's still, no matter how eloquent he speaks, and I'm telling you, man, I watched more press conferences just to see this dude speak.
Yeah, I'm a smooth boy.
I just like seeing Obama. That dude had a swag about himself, just walking up to the podium. But he's still black. So I don't care how eloquent he spoke it, there was still a different pressure on him than anybody else, even though Bill Clinton was supposedly our first black president. But he didn't have that pressure because he actually wasn't black.
It was the jazz music.
Well, see, I just disagree with that, and I'll say the one thing, and I bring him up a lot on this show, and I do not think he's the best basketball player ever, but if you put what he does for the community, LeBron's the best basketball player ever. And if you look at what LeBron, the position he's in, he did not know how it was going to be perceived when he made that school. He did not, but we all know how it was perceived. We all know how it was perceived. Where have you heard about it again?
Wait, but the thing is,
that's my point. He came out, he didn't know how it was going to affect his bottom line, and he did it anyway.
That wasn't going to affect. Wait. Yeah, but he's the first one that they talked about.
He's the first
doing
one.
it.
He wasn't the first one, but I'm saying he put it out there on Front Street. He wasn't doing it behind doors or slipping and donating money or doing this. He put everything out on Front Street.
But it wasn't going to affect his bottom line, period.
But he didn't know that when he did it.
Yeah, he did, because he can average 27 points a game. He's going to get 100 and something million. That's what I'm saying. His bottom line is basketball. Let's get it.
But I mean that what I'm talking about is his endorsement money.
Yeah.
How he's perceived, because how many times has somebody said something? Okay, look at what's the fat corrections guy?
I see what you're saying in regards to his endorsements and everything like that.
Rick Ross. Okay. All right, Rick Ross, fake ass.
What'd you call him? Corruption. Huh? What'd you call him?
Corrections.
The correction officer.
Correction officer. He's a correction officer.
I thought he said corrupt too.
Corrections officer.
You know how many rappers is corrupt?
But okay, like Rick Ross. When Rick Ross came out, Rick Ross said, "Kill every nigga monkey, shoot black people, rape this girl, do this, do whatever." But the first time when he mentioned rape, hold on now, you're talking about rape? They didn't say nothing about shooting people. They didn't say nothing about moving keys. But as soon as he said rape, they shut his ass down. Like shit didn't roll for him after that. He lost endorsements. And if you look at the way they censor when it offends something that they value. Black lives aren't valued, so they don't get offended when a rapper talks 92 times about her, kill this or take this or drop that molly or do whatever. But as soon as he started talking about drop a drink and rape, I was like, oh, whoa. Now, and rape is wrong, but so is murder.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if he would have said, and believe me, this is nothing I'm endorsing, but imagine if any black rapper came out and said, let's kill white people, or kill a person, kill that cracker, whatever. If they said something racist, but when they routinely rap about, let's kill a brother, they don't say nothing about it.
Prime example.
All they said was fuck the police.
Yeah.
Eminem.
Ice Cube and them.
Eminem said
they went crazy.
He said he'd take his baby mama, kill her, roll around town with her in the car for
in the trunk,
hours.
Yeah.
Don't forget his mama. He got his mama.
He said it.
Yeah.
And they still play that song to this day.
And those are white people.
Yeah.
Right, on the radio.
They don't fear Eminem.
But they didn't say anything about anything else that's on there. And that was not the most offensive lyric that's been on a rap album. And all I'm saying, and I'm not knocking rap because I love Megan Thee Stallion. I'm going to say it again. But I listen to 21 Savage. I got to, but I also know where I think the disconnect comes is that they tell us who to love, who to like, and who to hate. And what I'm saying is when a person gets to a certain level, I want to hold them to the same standard I held myself to as officer, a higher standard. The same way, that's why I'm offended when an officer does something wrong, because I know what he was supposed to do. And I've disciplined people for doing the wrong thing.
Okay,
and I say this.
They do wrong sometimes because of the simple fact that maybe because they're not paid enough.
No. When a person does wrong,
that's
they're
a
wrong.
that's a
They did some
personality.
bad
It's a
fucking
personality issue.
Yeah.
That's a personal issue.
That's
that person.
100%. Because there's so much money you can make on the side. Nobody makes their money from policing.
Facts.
When you can stand at Chick-fil-A from 6 in the morning to 2, 5 to 2.
Do a football tournament. It's all
Make
day.
good money.
All day, yeah.
Double time and a half all day.
No, we ain't talking about time and a half. We're talking about $50, $5 an hour.
Money.
A lot of
The
times
racing
it's
went up
cash.
big time.
Yeah, they get money. Cobb County just passed a law out there, boy. They get money to come stand at them games, sit in their car, sit in the air condition. Yeah,
They're making money now.
They
People
get
get
money
it twisted.
to
Them
do
young
that.
officers making money. Go to any zone in the city of Atlanta. Go to the parking lot and look at the whips.
Oh yeah.
Look at the whips.
Yep.
You talking,
And they ain't coming from
Red
that
eyes.
they ain't coming that police check.
Yeah, they come from the police check.
No, I mean, I've always said that law enforcement and education was two of the lowest paid professions in America.
Absolutely.
I don't feel that the money is making them. Now maybe some of the dudes might be, you don't hear about it much. Maybe some cops is running drugs or something like that because they can make money from that. But I don't feel that because they're getting low pay that they're beating up people or shooting people and nothing like that.
I mean, but you can't say no. Like, you having a bad day, you having a bad day.
Nah, it don't happen like that because one, you got to.
I mean, rich people have bad days.
They go pay for something.
Go buy something.
They go buy something and feel better.
And I think a lot of times, we said it several times, a lot of times across the country, when you look at those videos, what happens why the officer kills somebody is fear of the black man.
Period.
Like that one when the guy was walking and they said, stop, and there's two officers following the guy and they let him get inside the Suburban, open the door and reach under the seat and they shot him. Now, it was a good shoot, no matter how y'all look at it. It was a good shoot. But it was dead ass wrong, because if it was me out there.
Shouldn't let him get to the car.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'd have split his head about midway when I told him to stop, and he didn't. And I tried to stop, and it's on, then we got to drop him. And then
You're not getting
would've
to that
dealt
vehicle.
with it
You're not
right
getting to
there.
that vehicle.
He's not getting in that vehicle.
Period.
Because what I'm worried about when he reached under that seat, if he would have came up with a Draco or something that I can't handle, now I'm dead. Oh, no.
As a regular,
Believe me, it would've been on the news.
dude,
That would've
if
been
I'm
on
about to
World
get in a
Star.
fight and somebody say they going to their car, I ain't gonna let them get to their car.
You're not getting to the car.
I'd have put my thumb dead past his
So
eye.
let me ask this.
I'm swinging first and follow up till the police get there. Take
Why-
me to jail.
Why isn't it stressed? Or maybe it is, and I just don't know. But why isn't it stressed instead of shoot to kill in situations like that before he get to the car with a leg shot?
No such thing. What if you hit an artery?
Yeah.
And they bleed out?
Yeah,
Same thing.
It's like even in the military, man. They teach you to shoot
Center mass.
And you don't use deadly force
Yeah.
unless it's justified.
Yeah, they shoot you. They teach. Even when I was in corrections. Now here we in corrections. If somebody's running, we're taught to shoot center mass. We're not taught to shoot to make him come back to jail. If he gets out, we are taught to shoot center mass. So that's why I know.
And it's to protect the third party, which would be the
civilian. Yeah.
Okay, question. Was that a good shooting up in Columbus? They shot that little girl?
The 16-year-old.
Yeah.
Now, I should change that. There's no such thing as a good shooting because they're all tragic. But, yes.
Yeah.
Because they were protecting a third party. Imagine if that was, because see, when an officer arrives on the scene, he doesn't know the backstory.
No, I'm going to tell you what
He
I
doesn't
think,
know the
but I'm just
edge.
curious as
He
to
doesn't
what
know
you
the
think as
edge.
former law enforcement.
He doesn't know the age of anybody there. He doesn't know who hit who. He just knows when he said stop,
That
he's
one-
coming in,
Yeah.
and you see somebody, because if you see
a knife.
from his body cam, if you watch it from his body cam, it's clear he didn't shoot until he saw the knife and her lunging toward a girl after he said stop. That's almost textbook. Guaranteed they won't, because of the way the world is now, kinder and gentler. But if not, that shooting would be used by every firearms instructor teaching use of force and saying this is a perfect example of when to shoot when it's a third-party safety involved.
And if you
Okay, now
notice,
question, could he have not tased her?
No, because at that point, she's doing deadly force. We're taught in law enforcement to go one level above the degree of force that they use. You don't take a taser to a gunfight. You don't take a taser to a knife fight, because both of those weapons can kill. A taser, if it kills, is by chance. Not luck, because it's bad luck, but because you have a bad heart or something of that nature.
Okay.
But you don't use a taser. You don't take a taser to any type of a
Okay,
deadly
so when
force
he got out
situation.
the car, I'm just asking because that's been a topic and a lot of folks talk about it. When he got out the car, I'm sure. Well, I can't say I'm sure because I don't know the man, but I mean, from what I seen in the video, from the time he got out the car, you can see that you're dealing with kids. Now, true enough, it was chaos out there. It was chaos, but that was a little girl. A taser would have dropped her ass.
the
right now.
and I get what you're saying.
I've seen so many times.
I'm
See,
not- why couldn't
that's
a taser
because
have-
people
Now,
have a
if you-
misconceptions
now-
about
now
how
let me- now-
a taser
wait,
works.
Now and that's why I'm asking. That's why, because see, now had he pulled up and seen it was two grown men out there tussling, and I got a knife coming at you, I could see him dropping me. I'm a grown man. That taser might not do nothing to me, and I still might get to you. That makes sense. But you could tell that this was a little girl. So I'm just curious as to.
I got you tell that.
Hold up, because I'm on.
Well, see, the thing is, what
No, it's not that. I'm just talking about the girl that had the
But
knife,
yeah,
period.
yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. It's not who she was going after.
You said it was kids fighting. It was an adult fighting a kid.
But you could tell that the kid that had the knife was a kid.
If you look at it,
Hit
it's
her with
this.
the taser,
Yeah.
the knife still, and she still
Yeah,
stabs her. Then
yeah.
what?
yeah, you got the
Then
On
what?
a taser, you hit a 16-year with a taser.
It doesn't work. Okay.
When you got emotions, adrenaline
Yeah.
running, all kinds of things. You know what I mean?
Tasers, you can fire.
Yeah.
The taser's not guaranteed.
Right when she's sitting
Yeah,
right
that
now,
one- that
I'll
one
put
as-
both in the best day and fire a taser. One may hit her in the shoulder, the other one hits her in the leg. You know how many times it takes both prongs to hit you for a taser to work? She had a jacket on. If he miscalculates, shoots, the taser doesn't connect, nothing happens.
Okay, that's
Not
why I'm
for the
asking. I don't
beginning.
know. That's why
Yeah,
I'm
tasers
asking.
a lot of times.
That's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
Couldn't he have tased her?
No, because at that point, if you watch it, don't watch the one everybody's watching that shows the lady getting kicked in the head and everything going on. When you go home tonight, have you watched the body cam video, his personal body cam
I
of a
can't
shooting?
guarantee if I have.
Watch it. Take the time.
Yeah.
Look up his
It-
name and say his body
Yeah,
cam. When you
that's-
watch it, he's going, hey, look, stop. Hey, everybody stop. Everybody stop. And he's like, knife. And he engages, put it down, bam.
yeah. As
It's
tragic as that
Yeah,
was,
that was-
I
It's
can't.
tragic, though, because it
Yeah,
lost a life.
and
Anytime
when
it's a lost life.
somebody asked me, "Well, damn, why he shoot her so many times?" He shot her till she dropped.
Yeah.
Because if he shot her once and she still stabbed the girl, then people was gonna be saying, "Why didn't you shoot her till she dropped?" So
Okay, and I get that. I understand that sitting here asking.
Yeah.
But this is the first time I had a chance to ask someone in law enforcement,
Well, then
why
that's
couldn't
good.
he have tased her? But now I didn't know.
yeah,
First of all, how far you can shoot a taser. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know how far you could shoot one, and the possibility of both prongs hitting them is slim to none sometimes, unless you're close.
It's not slim to none, but it ain't bad 1,000.
Yeah,
And
that-
another thing
Right,
people
okay.
don't realize.
there's been some
when
stuff that's happened
you're
that I
close,
was
like
mad
if I-
at, and after coming up here and talking to them, I
Or
get
like
it.
if I,
I
like
get
right
it.
now, if I pull the taser out and fire both prongs into you, when prongs come together, it's gonna, but it's not gonna be the same if one hits you here and one hits you here,
Right, I get
because it's
that
gonna
now.
make it
Right.
connect all the way across.
And going that far, one to hit here, one hit there, one may not hit, one might hit the other person.
Exactly.
Okay. all
That's
right.
okay. Going back to it, go back to the Wednesday shooting. The Wednesday shooting.
Yeah.
When the young man was shot by the police.
Right.
What did he do to the officers? He fired a taser at him. One prong actually hit the officer. The other prong didn't hit the officer that shot and fatally wounded him. Well, fatally killed him. When he fired him, one I think was in the leg and the other one missed. If he would have connected with both prongs, that also would have dropped. But he didn't connect with both prongs. The officer returned fire,
Right. Okay.
and it was a fatality. So it's like a lot of times tasers don't work, but the main thing is an officer's job is to serve and protect. Now you look at the things that are coming back, backlash and mayors and everybody getting scared. LaGrange, Georgia, is saying now they're going to train their officers to shoot the wound, shooting the leg or or the arm. And what you're doing, do you go to the range sometimes and fire a firearm? You shoot pretty good?
All right.
Okay. If you're all right,
I'm better with a rifle than I am with a pistol.
okay, but I'll tell you this, and this is anybody, if you shoot, and anybody that's an avid shooter will tell you, it's been proven, officers that shoot 100 in the 90s in a stressful shooting situations, they shoot in the 80s. Officers that shoot in the low 90s and 80s, shoot in the 70s. Officers that shoot in the 80s, which is right at failing, because you got to shoot above a 79, those officers normally miss. Because all the things that go into it, if you know anything about shooting, you got to exhale and get all the air out of your
breathe and all
lungs.
that, yeah.
And when you fire, when air's in your lung, your arms bouncing around, boom, boom. And even the best shooters miss. So when you engage someone under stressful situations, you're liable to miss. You can't shoot in the arm because in a deadly situation, I shoot at you to disarm you instead of kill you, and now you fire. And the reason why a lot of perpetrators are able to kill officers is because they're doing what's called instinctually shooting. They're point shoulder shooting. Bam. Point shoulder shoot. When you learn how to shoot 5 yards in, you're shooting with both eyes open. Okay, a perp, boom, he's doing the same thing. That's why you cannot shoot the wound. You got to shoot to kill, because if you shooting for his arm and miss, now he shoots and he kills you. The first thing they'll say is, man, he should have been a better shot. No, he should have shot him in the chest.
Right.
Where all the vital organs.
Got a question for you before we wrap up. Orlena wants to know, what do you think about the decision in North Carolina? Deputies found have done the right shooting in that investigation. That's the guy that was driving off, because they said they were accused of shooting him in the back of the head. They wouldn't release the body cam, the video footage, and all that stuff. But it came out yesterday, I think, said they considered a good shooting. You familiar with that one?
Mm-hmm. Well, and this is one thing, and I think what hurts a lot of departments, you don't have chiefs like we've had, Turner, Shields, and now we have Bryant. He's going to be the same thing, and we always have mayor like Mayor Bottoms, and every mayor we've had, make sure we're transparent. And I think what hurts, and I think it's intentional to a certain extent, they want to fuel the mistrust in the black community, because when we're worrying about if an officer did a bad shooting, we're not thinking about how to fix us, how to empower us. And so when you look at the shootings, if departments right off the bat would put the officer's body cam out there, I mean, if they're going to riot, they're going to riot. But if people, and see, they have this misconception that black people can't think.
But they did prove one thing about that.
Yeah.
That the body cam can be released when they want to release it, because they didn't release the body cams from like Tiana Taylor or whoever else for months.
Yeah.
But they did show one thing, that, they can let it go when they want to let it go.
But my point is, you got to look at different departments. And a lot of departments are they're thinking they may have a 2021 department, but the chief policed 30, 40 years ago, and he didn't evolve. So he's like, it's my department, we're going to circle the wagons. That's when that thin blue line comes in effect.
Yeah,
and
so
instead of saying,
both
put
of
it out
y'all,
to the
both of
public,
y'all are saying the same thing. Like you said, you're saying somebody that's older. He's saying let's circle the wagons. What he's saying is, it actually can be put out faster, but then you have the folks that, like you said, in different departments that do
now,
that.
I think that's something that could come out if the feds make it a law.
Even in the school system, you can have in Gwinnett County, as far as black students, African American students make up, I think something like, they just say like 35%, 40%, something like that. But when it comes to discipline, they're like 80%. And they're disciplined harder because the people who are in charge didn't evolve.
No, well, see, and I'm glad you said that, and I've mentioned this on the show before. That's what African Americans should be protesting, not when a felon gets shot, because more black lives are destroyed because of disproportionate sentencing and the way that crimes are viewed. Because we talked about this. If you're in Zone 2 and get arrested for, I can't say now, and I've been so far away from the streets for so long, but if you're arrested in certain zones for drinking in public, it's time served or community prosecutor, let's talk to him, let's work this out. But when you're black, $500 or 15 days or whatever the charge is. Right. And what happens is they go in and so many black males, mass incarceration in the United States is money. It's not about so much race, it's about money. Because if you go to an area that's predominantly Hispanic, poor Hispanic, they're going to jail. They're going to jail. Right. Now, if you're in Putnam County, Georgia, in a trailer park, guess what? It's going to be poor whites going to jail. So it's socioeconomics. It's not race. Now, where race comes into when you get that bad apple, it's 10 times worse. But like you said, when you go to Gwinnett County schools, but that always goes back to a black kid that's acting up. The white kid, he's just rambunctious. The black kid, he needs Ritalin, or he needs this or this and this.
He needs to be expelled or suspended, as opposed to talked to.
Exactly.
Trying to figure out why he's acting out or whatever the case may be. You're right.
Exactly, but that's what
they got a new black.
You're in timeout.
I don't know if he's a new superintendent over the school system in Gwinnett County or what he is, but he's high powered and he's changing that. And that's what was brought up when I was listening. Actually, I heard about it when I was listening to the radio station, and I didn't know. But then that's when I found out those statistics about more blacks are disciplined harder in Gwinnett County than anything else.
Well, school. We're talking the criminal prosecution.
We don't even make up half of the doggone school system. And all four of my kids came through Gwinnett County School.
Exactly, and that's what we have to look at as a people. But if it transfers over to the criminal courts also.
Now, I just want to just follow up on her question. Based on the case that I've seen and read about, the officer, the first bullet was shot in his head, in his forehead, as he was driving towards the officer. So that's the justification they're using. Now, apparently he was shot several times, and one or two shots did hit him in the back of the head. That's why they were claiming execution. But if you're driving at an officer, that vehicle is a deadly weapon. Right. That vehicle can kill him. So that's why they're going to justify that shooting. Yeah. That was it.
Well, there we go, man. Again, we started out with
mass murder.
Mass murder. And of course, we come back to the hot topics of the country right now. But let's go ahead and holler, let everybody know what you do and how they can follow you and all that stuff.
And what you got going on.
Start over there. I know you got a long list, but you can go ahead.
You want me to
and
go
make
first?
sure you talk about next Juneteenth.
Roger that. All right, so y'all can follow me everywhere at Soccer Boss. Y'all know I brought the camera back out. I'm out of retirement. I'm back doing photography. I do graphics. I do all that good stuff. This Friday, if you want to go to an amazing fashion show, we're doing a fashion show called Walk on Water Fashion Show. It's at a mansion in Sandy Springs. I am one of the hosts for that. And then Sunday, Marietta hosting another fashion show there, and I'm performing at both of them. And then, like you were just saying, Juneteenth, we will be walking in the parade that morning. And that evening, shout out to Monterey Robinson, whose son I was talking about earlier. They're unveiling another mural with 16 different families. I will be hosting that as well and performing at that too. The music thing is kicking off, man. I didn't even mean to get back into music, but here I am, and I'm having fun doing it. We got Nashville coming up. We just came back from Virginia. So shout out to Fats. He has his tour with his fashion show as well. So just a lot of stuff happening, man. Follow me everywhere at Soccer Boss, music-wise, Spotify, YouTube, all that good stuff. SAGABOSS. And get at me, man.
Y'all have heard his track. We play it quite often.
Yeah.
Before and after the show.
Appreciate that, too. Appreciate that.
We're going to be able to drop that at the end of the show. There it is. Deuce, man. Go ahead and talk about it. Talk about them cigars. Let them know.
got a perfectly hand-rolled Dominican blend, 2 faces. I got a Maduro.
2 faces.
And a Corojo. right.
This weekend.
You know, last year I was rated number 2 as far as the best black-owned cigar to have in the humidor. You know, I dropped down 2 spots this year, but it's all good. I'll be back at the top.
That's what's up.
But it is a pure Dominican blend, tobacco, filler, wrapper. To me, honestly, I got the hottest cigar in Atlanta. Check it out.
That's what it is.
There it is. And the name?
And you can reach me at Deuces Cigar Collection on IG. Deuces Cigar Collection, DEUCES.
Deuces.
Name of the cigar is Deuces Cigar. There it is.
I'm going to enjoy it later.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
MJ?
As always, same topic. If you're stopped and you feel you're being mistreated by a law enforcement officer, make sure you call a supervisor to the scene. Make sure you call a supervisor to the scene. The officer has to give you his name and badge number. That's a Georgia standard. Now, in the event that anything happens that you disagree with, I'm batting 100 for people that come on the show, and it's not just this, it's everybody, believes 100% every time I ask it. Everybody comes up with these great stories, but they fail to do the thing that needs to be done to affect change. They wonder how a piece of shit officer that would kill somebody stays around. It's because when we have the opportunity to complain, we don't complain. Make sure you file a formal complaint, and then it may not make a difference that time, but the second time he does it, they're gonna look, whoa, you can't have an accident, happen again. It's like,
3 or 4 times.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So file a formal complaint. That's all I got.
3 or 4
Follow
times
me through
in
the show.
same day. Hold on now. Something wrong.
Remember, we got the elections right around the corner, y'all. Those 2-year elections. Sit in the house. Don't sleep on it. Continue to vote. If you're not registered to vote, no excuses. We can't use excuse no more that our vote don't count. We saw firsthand it does. Make sure you vote.
Yo, man. Again, another classic conversation. Let me talk about myself. Somebody just told me that they saw me in a movie, and I cannot remember that I did it. It's called Step Up something. It's a series on Amazon or it's on Stars. I have no idea because sometimes we do these movies. They don't give us the correct name because they don't want us talking about it too much. So I'm in a church scene. Look for it. Supposedly she just told me, episode 4 in season 2. I have no idea. I don't know what I did or when I was on it. Got a movie coming out on Father's Day. Men Pray 2, man. It's going to be dope. You can follow me Instagram, Klassic_J. That's Klassic, KLASSIC, just like the name of the show, _JAE. Facebook, James Thompson. There's a lot of us out there. Put in JAETEA, and you can get your tickets there. I got my link up there for the tickets. I think that's it for now. I got a couple other things, but I don't feel like going through it right now. Again, another conversation, man, that was classic. Please, I know that a lot of you guys are looking at this thing on Facebook. Please go to
UrbanAtlanta.com.
UrbanAtlanta.com and make sure that you subscribe. We will be back next week. What did we say we was going to talk about?
Thanks for all the comments, too.
What did it say we was going to talk about? We just said it earlier. I forgot. I've been living a long time.
Man. Oh, about the mask. Mask or unmask.
Oh, yeah. We're going to talk about the pandemic.
Mask on, mask off.
Mask on, mask off.
Topic about 5 minutes.
Yeah. We're going to talk about that next week, man. So make sure y'all tune in. Please, people, we like the comments, but give us a telephone call. We want to hear from you. You got that song queued up, bro? All right, but that's another one. Classic Conversations with JT and Lo, and we
Ask
are.
a Cop.
And ask a cop.
Oh, and Ask a Cop. We out.
Cut me all out.
Nor in America. I speak as a victim of America's so-called democracy. You and I have never seen democracy. All we've seen is hypocrisy. We don't see any American dream. We've experienced only the American nightmare. And the generation that's coming up now can see it and are not afraid to say it. If you go to jail, so what? If you're black, you were born in jail.
Let's start with the abuse of the power. These cowards plucking black lives like flowers. No remorse, while the screams of our mothers get louder. Each encounter gets encountered with a Facebook Live. And still that's not saving our lives. I ain't making up lies. I know you seeing social media. They beating us and treating us so devious. Shooting us then leaving us. Provoking us then choking us. But wanting respect or want answers with your knees on our neck. I can't breathe. Eating my Skittles while I scribble my notes. Contemplating on how I should vote. Got my back on the ropes. I'm from a hood where we learn from our losses. They come from a hood where they burning them crosses. We ain't the same. Panic's at an all-time high. I try hard saying I won't cry. Leave the house hoping I don't die. Looking up to the sky. Say a prayer hoping I survive. Anthony Hill, 26-year-old war veteran, was at an apartment complex in Atlanta where someone said he was crawling around naked, knocking on doors, acting deranged, so they called the cops. Now instead of showing up and giving this veteran the proper help that he needed, he was shot twice and killed, unarmed and naked. Yo, these kids supposed to be the future, but they shooting them down. Over toy guns and music, they get stretched on the ground. It's cause they skin brown. They gotta drown in their own blood. While these cops getting slapped on the wrist by a judge. No accountability for what we see. Are you kidding me? They don't de-escalate no more. They shoot and go free. Unjustified justification. We playing in funerals while they playing in vacations. They get gratification. One nation under two different laws. The motivation needs no explanation. The system is flawed. They shooting up the mall, even killing in churches. With proof they get away with the murder. We can't break up a fight, have a broken tail light, or just run. If your phone is in your hand, they still screaming a gun. Get your wallet out your pocket, they get scared cause you black. Or kicking your door, put two on your back, and have the wrong address. 22-year-old Kane Rogers was shot and killed by a police officer responding to a suspicious person possibly breaking into vehicles. As seen on his dash cam, he swerved in front of Kane's car at the last second, so Kane avoided his car. He jumps out, starts shooting, strikes him, and kills him. He said Kane tried to run him over. Dash cam shows something completely different. People putting pressure on politicians, the plot thickens. Purpose with a passion for past victims, the past hit hard. Scarred hearts in different parts of the country. Graveyards making plenty of money, while the scene getting ugly. But see, it don't make sense, cause the expense don't cover the suspense of being colored, while our days are being numbered, and our nights are getting tougher. These ages getting younger, everything makes me wonder how we living in the land of the free, but your life is the price. Cops throwing bullet shells like rice, and a routine stop could be the end of your life, cause you don't have the right to be defending your rights. My nephew caught 76 from these pricks cause they flipped. Come to find out, it was nothing he did. Another young man, gunned down and gone. Rest in peace to Jamarion. Word. Jamarion Robinson, 26 years old. He was at his girlfriend's house watching TV when the cops kicked in the door and let off over 100 shots, hitting him 76 times. And all this was captured on Facebook Live. Investigators say somebody actually stood over his body and shot down into him. After they dragged him down the stairs and show his mom a picture of the suspect who allegedly pulled a gun on a cop, it was the wrong person.
This is why I say it's the ballot or the bullet. It's liberty or it's death. It's freedom for everybody or freedom for nobody. America today finds herself in a unique situation. Historically, revolutions are bloody. Oh, yes, they are. They have never had a bloodless revolution or a non-violent revolution. That don't happen even in Hollywood. It'll be liberty or it'll be death. And if you're not ready to pay that price, don't use the word freedom in your vocabulary.
First and foremost, my heart goes out to the families of Anthony Hill, Kane Rogers, and Jamarion Robinson. If you Google those names, you'll see their stories, You'll see the released pictures and video footage that's out. There's so many other families just in Atlanta alone that are dealing with the same situations of police brutality, where there's no justice as of yet for any of them. I'm not directly connected to them, but I am connected to Monteria Robinson, who is Jamarion's mom. And she's been going hard, man, putting in the work.